It is I, the captain. Or Peter, if you prefer. Plenty of captains. I shall just share around. So tweet. See if it's got it. Yes, I'll edit the description when I get it. Oh, come on, man. Hello, hello, it is I. Ready, willing, and able to chat. So, who's in here? Nobody yet. Okay. See, what? Yeah, I'm in the studio and I've gone live, so. Man. No. Nobody yet. Shall sit and lurk then. Come on. Right, what I'll do is I'll go to antitrekker.com and see if there's anybody there.
The second largest country in Europe after Russia. It has a population of nearly 44 million. The Black Sea Coastal Resort of Odessa is the location of one of the world's most extraordinary tunnel networks. Here inside there are the biggest underground system in the world. Lying 60 meters underground. These Odessa catacombs are incredible to 2,500 kilometers long. For centuries, through all kinds of wars, they protected the local people from danger. Yet these very tunnels have also been the scene of tragedy.
Hey, Canuck, do you want to join in? There you go. I've just finished sharing around, so hopefully there'll be people coming in. Hey, Captain Trek as well. Yeah, I clicked off on StreamYards when I was selecting it, or by accident. Yeah, how you both doing? The link is right there. Oh, well. Yeah, the link for the StreamYards chat is just there. Oh, it's not somebody hopping in. No. To notification. Oops. Okay. Yeah, well, I took my painkillers an hour ago. Yeah, so I'm sitting happy right now. No, I think not somebody coming in. Hey, Canuck.
Hey, let's get rid of that. It's too early in the morning for that.
Well, it's almost 5 o'clock here.
I had a long night, so it's still feels like 5 in the morning to me.
Were you on Sci-Fi Nation stream?
No, I was in too much pain to even. I just had YouTube playing in the background as background noise. I wasn't putting on anything I could focus on.
Mm-hmm.
It was just background noise.
Yeah, I just put YouTube on to select the videos when they come in the mornings, I know where you're coming from. I just don't like doing anything else apart from just sitting here for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Get myself, gradually moving into the day with plenty of coffee.
Oh, shoot. I forgot to do something before I...
Oh.
No, I was gonna... no, I gotta bring back up, because when I go on when I go in here and I'm actually chatting, most of the time I'll close the YouTube window, because it just makes my computer work too much to have both running, and I only need the one. But I was gonna share your stream on Twitter, on my Twitter account, before I did so.
I tagged Monty Trekker and Bird of Prey in the comments.
Oh, wait.
If
Let's see. Oh no, that wouldn't.
if
I'll have to.
you added us on Twitter,
Oh, you do have. What's your Twitter?
it's Peter1978.
Okay. Because I can almost
Same as
guarantee
my Skype.
Peter 9178. Enter
1978.
19. All right. Like I said, so I'm working on my first coffee, so you'll have to forgive me.
What time is it there?
It is almost 11 in the morning, but to me, it's 5 in the morning.
So you're on the East Coast.
No, dead central Canada.
All right. Yeah. Fraser is in the next time zone on the West. Fraser Kane, he runs Universe Today and Astronomy Cast and Weekly Space Hangout.
There you are. Okay, so now if I've clicked the right one, which I believe so, because it's your picture, so I am now following you.
Cool.
So if you post if you share the link to your Twitter of your YouTube video, I will retweet it for you. Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it. I see it. Never mind.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, but now I'll follow you back.
Retweet.
Let's see.
It's my actual name. It's not Rambling Canuck.
John. Aye.
Just so you know.
yeah. Your name's actually John. Aye.
No, Robert.
Robert. All right, I've got a John on. I'll have to double check this. I don't know where to go to see my recent followers.
Notifications.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's another one. There we go, Robert. Aye. Got you now. So then I'll see your tweets. Yeah, because I haven't actually added many people on Twitter from.
Yeah, neither have I. I've kind of avoided it like the plague.
Yeah.
But what the heck? I'll start. Like yesterday, I posted a retro picture of me just for fun, because nobody will see it because, well, I don't have a lot of people on my Twitter.
Yeah. There we go.
But here, I'll put a retro picture of me up.
Because I didn't spell check. There we go. That looks better. Now people will know what it is.
Okay. There we go. There's a retro picture of me.
Yeah, I added one on. No, that is that an old picture of me on Twitter?
Captain Trek. Just type in Robert R. Knowles, KNOWLES 1, and you'll find me.
Yeah, those are old pictures of me, but yeah, I am known as the Mighty Quinn or Quinn the Eskimo, as I was, about to say to Sci-Fi Nation and Ricky earlier, because he was playing the guitar, which is canny.
Yeah, Sci-Fi's over on a painting channel right now.
On whose channel?
He had her on his stream last night. Amy One Kenobi.
Amy One Kenobi. I've got no idea who she is.
It looks like an interesting channel. She paints basically.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. She's pretty good at it too, from what I can see. But I saw you go live, so I thought I'd jump over and say hi.
Yeah.
Gotta share the love and get everybody's channels up and running, and mine's growing, so I'm happy. I'm almost at 100. I'm happy.
Oh, you can't find you on Twitter. Have you got his Discord or
Mine?
yeah?
Here
and then
I'll make it easy. Yeah, my just put in Rambling Canuck in wait.
Oh, there we go. I'll put my Twitter in a private chat on
See,
StreamYard.
I can't. Oh yeah, private chat. Yeah, just here.
There we go.
That's what you're looking for when you go for my Twitter. I put it in private chat.
Yeah, I think.
And Captain Trek,
that was
I'll
Twitter as well.
I'll put it in my Discord.
There we go. That's private chat on Discord. StreamYards. So if you come in, Captain Trek, we'll just post in there, Twitter, you know. You don't have to go live yet, just say when you're ready.
There you go, Captain Trek. It's in my Twitter. It's in my on my Discord page.
Oh, cool. Oh well. Well, stick it in the StreamYards as well, because
I can't. Because when you're the host, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't have YouTube open right now to make it easier on my system. So I don't have the YouTube chat. I only have the StreamYards chat. And StreamYards has made it so that if you're a guest on the stream, you can't type into the comments. Only the host can. So I can't type in the chat right now. Uh-oh. Where did Peter Quinn go?
I've done it again.
There you are.
No, if you put it in the private chat.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's only the people who are in here on StreamYards that will see it. I didn't know I could chat on YouTube on StreamYards. And I thought, well, that was
okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey,
there you go.
Good afternoon to you, Peter.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's evening for him.
Just going 5 o'clock.
So what's going on, gentlemen?
I'm trying to move.
My computer hammer today. But it feels like I've been banging it against my head. Oh no, I didn't get a headache. I was just failed what I was doing. And I messed up the bloody game as well by trying to clear the cache, you know. Oh, yeah, Sims 3, it's having real problems on my system.
Those games are memory heavy, aren't they?
And it'll save when I go to a new town, but other than that, nope.
Well, those are pretty memory heavy, aren't they?
Yeah, but I had it. I've got 8 gigs of RAM, and it takes 3 because I used it before. I got another 4 gigs. No, it takes 2 gigs of RAM, and I could quite easily flick in and out of it on 4 gigs of RAM, you know.
Yeah.
So on 8, it should work.
So how are you, Captain Trek?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Sore, alive, you know.
I understand. All too
I
well.
woke up on the right side of the ground, I think.
I am doing a combination of self-medicating and
Ooh, speaking of which,
Well,
I should probably do that.
trying to fix drinking.
I
Because I
had-
was trying to do this earlier in the week and it didn't work sober, so
I had to medicate before I came on, so yeah.
Always good. Yeah, so I take it you've both seen Picard then?
Oh yes, I have.
I haven't.
Oh, okay, well then I won't
I
spoil
normally
it.
watch it a Saturday morning because I haven't got Amazon. You know.
Yeah, we live in the world that they'll never understand. My son used to hate that because the Flash would get released. Yeah, the Flash would get released in the States, and then he'd have to wait 2 days to watch it.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
he's like,
he's Crisis, even though I've got the channels here.
And
apparently they're not going to be shown in sequence. Plus, another channel has got Batwoman, so I'll have to wait I'll have to wait a bit later for that.
well, he would get mad because he is so invested in Flash. Like he knows every storyline, every character,
Yeah.
Everything like that. And he'd get so mad because he'd have to stay away from social media because he wouldn't want spoilers for 2 days because he couldn't get it before that.
Oh, I've seen a few spoilers, but nothing that'll spoil really the ending and how it'll come out. Because it's a waste of time avoiding them. The way I see it. You're going to find out eventually anyway.
Yeah. But he'd just get annoyed because he's so invested in the show. I couldn't get into it. There's too many. It's just too busy for me. It's like, okay, who's doing? He's doing what? That one's doing what? Oh my god. Okay, who the fuck is that?
I mean, come on.
Just went, nope.
Probably one of the main parts of this, I mean, how is he going to understand after Crisis?
Well, he's big into that. I'm not. So when I tried to watch it with him, because we watched Star Wars together, so I thought, well, maybe I'll watch this with him. And I tried, and I was just like, who the hell is the main character in this show? And what is she doing here? And no. And I went, nope. Sorry, my boy, you're on your own. I don't have the time in the day for you to explain this garbage to me.
Oh, it's simple. Barry Allen is the Flash.
And he's scared he's going to die because he's seen it in some vision or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the newspaper in the thing.
Oh.
The future.
And now they've got Supergirl in there somewhere, and they've got this one in there and that one in there, and it's like, focus on somebody for the love of God, please.
The two.
My head hurts.
My head hurts. And there's one show for the rest. The others, but then they have a big crossover.
Yeah. Well, I must have hit a crossover show because I was sitting there going, "What in blue bloody hell is this garbage?"
Probably did.
I'm too old for this
episode
shit.
1 of The Flash, and then episode 1 of Supergirl, and blah blah blah. Or no, start with Arrow, and then start with when Barry Allen, the first episode of The Flash, when he meets Ollie Queen.
But you see, I couldn't go back that far because the amount of I'd have to go back so far, and then by the time I'd get to where my son is, he'd already be done the series, and he'd be like, "Yeah, Dad, I'm done watching that." So it'd be like,
I watched episode 1 of Black Lightning, so I know who the characters are, and then I finished up the last season, and then that was it. I watched 3 episodes of it.
Yeah, it's just too busy for me. I just
It is
nope.
a bit, yeah. But
It's,
you know, I mean, look at the MCU.
Don't grab it. Don't grab it.
well, see, but I know some of that, right? I was
Yeah.
never a Flash person or
DC Comics, you mean?
yeah. I mean
Yeah,
DC, but my only DC is Batman, Joker, Superman, and that's it.
yeah, and you
Right?
Batman, Superman.
I'm done. I'm done. Checkout time. Right? So
Well, Superman is getting his own show.
again.
Yeah, it's Clark and Lois.
Oh God damn
Yeah,
it.
so there'll be another one. But Arrow
That
is
doesn't that
finished.
so Smallville 2.0?
Uh,
I hope
well,
not.
actually, Smallville Clark turns up in Crisis. I've seen that clip. And even though he's wearing, what is it? Yellow, green, not green, blue kryptonite, the one where he's not Kryptonian anymore, he's more Terran.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, but he's still a lot stronger than humans.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Lex Luthor comes in.
You sound excited there.
Make them disappear, and with their kryptonite, but nope, it doesn't work. And then Lex Luthor tries to hit him, and Clark just fucking whacks him away, grabs his fist and punches him, and that's it. And Lois turns up from Smallville as well.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled with that show. I mean, it would have been good. It would have been okay if it wasn't Superman. It was just a teen drama. Sure, why not? But
yeah, well, I was at the right age. I was just leaving high school. I was 16 when it started. I think 1995ish, 96.
yeah, I'm yeah, no.
Yeah, so I was about the same age as them.
Yeah,
Jake,
it just
Jake Sisko and Manu Wimp into Remy, you know.
yeah, it just didn't resonate at all. I just was like, yep, checkout time. But no, I can't watch Flash. I can't. It's too busy. I'm like, nope, screw this.
Sounds fun.
Next, I'm too old for this.
It is really good fun.
I'll put it this way: that show makes me revert back to get off my lawn faster than most shows I know. So yeah, I just get the updates. My boy, how'd it go? Okay, what are they doing now? All right, cool. Next. I'll let him watch it and and then tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's my. Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
He's my test dummy. I sent him to movies that I'm weary about because he knows what I like. And I go, okay, go watch that movie and tell me if I'm going to get mad or not. And then he'll come home and go, yeah, Dad, don't waste your money. Or he'll go, yeah, Dad, you'll want to see it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, the MCU is going to get just as complicated. What with the TV shows and everything.
Oh, yeah. So what did you... sorry, Captain Trek, I cut you off there.
Oh, no problem. I was just going to ask because you sound younger than you probably are. So how old are you?
35.
Yeah, I'm 41.
42. 85, but that apparently doesn't count.
See, I would have guessed late 20s.
Oh God, I wish.
Yeah.
I didn't have 4 kids at that point.
I'm just going by the sound of your voice.
Yeah. I have a younger voice, older body. Doesn't work.
Yeah, my body's decrepit.
Yeah, I understand that part.
Yeah.
The country song "I'm as good once as I ever was" has never been more true in my entire life. God damn it! But no, if there's a movie I'm weary about, I Send the Boy. Like when Joker came out, I'm a big Joker. I'm a big Joker nut. So I was like, okay, you go tell Dad if this is gonna piss me off.
Yeah, well, I still haven't seen Joker, but I've got it though. I just need to put the other computer into the TV and sit and watch that for the afternoon. You know.
Well, he came back and he was like, "Well, Dad, it's a good movie. However, I don't think you're gonna like it." That was his review. It's a good movie, Dad, but I know the Joker you like. And I don't think you're gonna like it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to connect to Batman, but it does. You can watch it as a standalone piece, or you can go into it. Okay, this is a Joker origin.
See, I wouldn't be so hesitant about it if there was a plan. And why am I echoing? I shouldn't be echoing. Anyway, if there was a plan to, like, okay, you get the Joker story, and then there's a plan that, okay, later on he's going to meet Batman. But I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just kind of like you're ordering a BLT and you're taking out the bacon. I don't understand.
Yeah, I think Joker's supposed to finish just before he goes and kills Batman. Well, Bruce's parents. You know, the Waynes. So you can take it or leave it. You know.
Yeah, well, for me, like I say, it's
From what I've heard.
yeah, it's like ordering a BLT and taking out the bacon.
I mean, do you know what it is? It's a social commentary piece.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah, mental health and stuff like that. You know.
I'm sure I'll watch it. I haven't yet.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, well, I've been using my media PC as my main computer, and I haven't got the wires to connect it to my TV and the monitor. So I've been neglecting watching stuff. Apart from Picard, I've been watching that on my monitor because it's only an hour.
Good morning, Anti-Trekker.
Hey, Anti-Trekker.
Why am I echoing? I shouldn't be.
Do you have two tabs open?
Well, nothing that has this on it.
No, same here. Well, all of them are muted apart from StreamYard.
So, are you going to send the link to the old poop head, or am I?
Why not?
I'm going to pay for that one, but hey, it's worth it.
Yeah, we're going to pay for it. Yeah, if you wanting to join, Auntie, there you go. Join in the fun. Yeah, but all I want to know about Picard is if it was a good episode.
Well, see, that's hard to say because that's so subjective.
Well, I like Picard, so, you know. And he's dressing differently. But that's got nothing to do with it, really. It's just the added fun and games.
Why is this being such a pain in the rear end?
Is he there? No, not yet. No, he hasn't.
Nope,
Come
he's
on.
not.
Getting origins from the occupied territories to the different clans was a logistical.
He might have muted this while he's busy.
He's probably editing a video or, cutting a video so that he can make Bird say what he wants, or
Yeah, well,
sending it
that's
to your
what-
bop, or
That's what Bird was doing.
plotting Captain Trek's death in infinite detail,
After
Things to do.
Stream, he said he's going to get this done.
See, I was going to
Not gonna
ask.
watch anything else till he gets it done.
I was going to ask him for a rebuttal for my video. I thought, okay, I'll give him a chance to rebut anything that he wants.
Oh,
Yeah, I doubt that. I mean, yours are just make fun of AT videos. I mean, seriously. That's what they are. They're make fun of AT videos. It's like Bird should have them as super chats.
Well, he was saying it on live stream. And so then I thought, okay, this is going to make a good video. So I was feeding Bird questions, and he was reacting, and I recorded what he said. Of course, I had to edit his.
Yeah.
nice.
But no, I mean, your videos are more just make fun of AT. At least mine was I was pointing out an error.
That was one video.
Yeah, I know. I know. But you got to pick your spots.
Yeah.
So you just, making fun of them on stream is easy, but just editing a video is low hanging fruit. That's why AT does it all the time. Low hanging fruit, especially like poor Bird. But
no idea how to edit.
neither do I. I just fake it real well.
Yeah, otherwise I would have recorded myself messing about with the Sims, or even trying to do a level on Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Yeah, I find if you swear at the computer long enough, it usually works.
Yeah, well, that's why I started drinking at 10 o'clock this morning. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Like the one video I've got where I've actually got clips in it. I think I swore at the computer for 2 hours going, why in the blue hell are you so choppy? And then, oh, wait, that cut's still there. How do I get rid of this? Oh, you son of a... Yeah, it was fun.
Even though I was up at 6, 10 o'clock is when I really started my day, because that's when I started getting myself busy and trying to sort things out.
Yeah. So what's the weather like over there?
I could ask Google.
Sure.
But if I look outside, it's cold, windy.
Define cold.
Hey, Google, what's the weather like?
Right now in Newcastle upon Tyne, it's 9 degrees and mostly sunny. Today, there will be showers with a forecasted high of 11 and a low of 5.
Okay, Google, thank you. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Well, right now it's -2.
I send audio to Google after you say, "Hey Google."
Hey,
when
Google,
you
thank
trigger me.
you. Stop.
Right now it's right now it's -2 where I am.
Oof.
So
That is
it's
cool.
actually pretty warm for what it's been the last couple of days.
Yeah,
We've
it's
had-
warm for Antarctica.
Well, we had -30 yesterday. So
Oof, man.
that's why I said define cold.
Yeah, that is warmer than Antarctica. No, it's not. It's actually colder than Antarctica at the moment.
Oh,
Hey, Google, what's the weather like in Antarctica?
On the website antarctica.gov.au, they say the average annual temperature ranges
Yeah,
from
I
-10
think it
degrees
was.
Celsius on the Antarctic coast to
It was
-60
the new
degrees
maximum.
Celsius at the highest parts of the interior. Near the
So
coast, the
it
temperature
wasn't
can exceed +10
-10,
degrees
it was
Celsius at times in
-8 or
summer and
something.
fall to below
Hey,
-40
Google, thank
degrees
you.
Celsius.
Well, I'll put it this way.
Yeah.
Okay, just keep an eye on my avatar. That's my backyard.
Yeah. I'm in YouTube, so it'll take a while.
wow.
Whoa, man.
Like I said, define cold.
Hey, Anti-Tracker.
Oh, Andy Trekker.
Hey,
How's it going? I haven't spoken to you before. Well, not in voice anyway.
So what's going on?
no, not much.
Just chatting, you know?
Like the retro pick?
That's different.
Hey, Cinnabon.
Before everything got broken, I assume.
Yeah. I was 5 years in cadets. And then I was gonna go military, and my back. I was stupid and did manual labor in my youth and hurt myself, so that kind of took me out of contention, which sucked because I was like
Yeah.
aiming for this as a career.
So you're going to be like a Royal Canadian kilted yaxman?
No, I was not. I was not a Highlander. I was a rifle. Royal Winnipeg Rifles.
Yeah, I was in the Air Cadets.
Yeah, I was that too
Oh,
for
cool.
2 years. 2 years air, 4 years 4 years rifle.
Well, by the time I left, I was leading cadet and corporal,
Okay.
which is all right.
Yep.
Not that I took
You got the baby crying.
That would be here.
I did all that. I went. I went all the way through scouting, so I did like the Beavers Cubs Scouts. I skipped ventures, went to cadets instead.
Wait,
And then I
you
was
started
thinking-
out with beavers?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Beavers Cubs Scouts, and then you're supposed to go to ventures, but I went to cadets.
Well, I had the option of going to Scouts or Air Cadets, and I thought, well, the Air Cadets.
Yeah, I did
I
both.
fancied a bit military career, you know, but.
Well, yeah, because my dad was my father was PPCLI in 44, so I was following in the family footsteps, but I hurt my back, and that was the end of that idea.
Yeah, it was a good job I didn't go into the military, because I would have been shipped out. Oh, well, so have he, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
just went into random agency work, and then I went back to college. And look where I am now.
Yeah, I got my degree in 2008, just in time to watch the market crash.
Oh,
Man.
well, it's my aunt. My aunt. She went back because she used to work in the potash mine on the business end,
Yeah.
and then she went back, got 3 different degrees for her dream job, got the degrees, and then she went to apply for her dream job and was told that she was now overqualified for her job. And so now she does the accounting for a tractor company.
Oh, nice.
Go figure.
Somebody has to do it. Yeah, well, I did maths, English, communications, drama, and a little bit of science at college. As well as frequenting the student bar, you know.
Yeah, I never did the college thing, but that's because I left school in grade 9 to take care of my dad. So I went back and got it, but yeah, by then I already had 3 kids. So.
But thankfully, I went back in my early 20s, and I was breezing through maths and English.
Math and I have an understanding. It stays away from me, and I'll stay away from it.
You do basic maths in everyday life.
Oh, well, basic isn't bad, but once you start getting into algebra, I just go, yep, nope. Check out time.
You don't like algebra?
No.
Or and Mrs. Anticheck was like, yeah, letters don't belong in math.
No.
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's English, wrong subject.
Yeah.
Solve for X. I don't want to know what happened in your relationship. Just give me the math question. Yeah. So how are you this morning, Anti-Trekker?
Tired.
Yeah.
Last couple of nights, I have not gotten more than like 4 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, yesterday I was up for 48. I finally got to sleep at about 1 o'clock in the morning. I slept till about 5, and I've been slowly trying to get up, and I just got up when Peter Quinn came on. So, yeah. Fun stuff.
Well, I just got back. Me and Miss Anticheck had to go to the store, so we just got back. Going through my alerts on the phone, and I saw one from Peter trying to get me to check out his stream because, you know, everybody wants me to show up. And
wow.
Yeah, Sci-Fi Nation is really, really, really trying to get that trying to get all your subs, eh?
Yeah.
bunch of bastards, I tell you.
I'm just.
No, I tell you,
it's place to hang, you know.
I miss when my live streams were this small.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I never thought I would say that, but yeah.
Yeah. Although, I mean, it does have its advantages. I'm sure the super chats back then weren't as generous as they are now.
Well, the funny thing is actually, if for those who were around back then, I had a couple of people, Captain Redneck was one of them, who would just give me insane super chats almost every day.
Okay.
And so Captain Redneck was, commonly dropping $50 and $100 super chats.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though I had fewer people back then, the super chat total amount was actually higher.
Oh, wow.
Because I had like 2 or 3 people that were just constantly giving these huge super chats.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Which was nice. But there was almost no ad revenue coming from the channel. So
yeah. So it balances out, I would imagine.
Of course, now I'm going to be sharing all my ad revenue with somebody else with making videos.
Yeah.
It's a hard knock life.
That's it. First world problems.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, believe me, the last thing I'm upset about is, oh, geez, now I have to do math to figure out how much money to dole out to everybody. You know, that's
I think we're building a well. You and Bird started it really, but building a pretty close knit community that's kind of growing slowly.
Yeah. I mean, I've started putting the nerd community in the description, you know, so that people know where I'm from.
so. Yep. Now I got to figure out what I'm doing next here.
What's your average CPM on your videos? Cinnabon's wondering. AT.
I don't know.
Yeah.
3.
Don't ask me either.
I honestly don't focus too heavily on the analytics because here's the problem. If you start focusing on your analytics, you're going to change what you do based on the analytics.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, it's really, that's what, you know, some people that are very smart about it, that's what they do is they watch the analytics like a hawk. And every time they see something do better, they start pushing in that direction. And then they keep experimenting until they hit whatever plateau they want to hit. But then they're not doing the channel they want to do. They're doing the channel that will make them the most money.
Yeah.
So I try not to look at except for the only time I look on the analytics is once a month, as I'm about to do for today, because on the 21st is when Google pays out their AdSense. And so basically, well, once I see the money in my bank account, if it just hit my bank account, then I got to figure out how much I got to give to Mr. Miles.
Yeah.
So that's the exciting thing. So now you see the behind the scenes. Of course, it's going to get really complicated next month because next month on the 21st, not only do I have to figure out how much I'm giving to Mr. Miles, but Life with Matthew and Rock Solid and Ensign Ricky and Darren Wagner, you know, each one of them get a substantial cut of the ad revenue as well.
Yeah.
But you still got your Patreon and your super chat stuff.
Well, the Patreon isn't that much, to be honest. I mean, the Patreon's like just a couple $100 a month. But the super chats, that makes a big difference, especially when people are, for whatever reason, those last week or so, people have been very generous. I don't know why. I'm certainly not complaining about it. But for the ad revenue, I don't mind sharing it with these guys because basically every time somebody else puts a video on my channel, if it's making any money at all, that's money that would not be being made if it were just me.
Plus, it's great exposure for them, so It's a win-win.
The only one I hate sharing with is Mr. Miles, of course, because
it's Mr. Miles.
Yeah. But you're welcome to join in on StreamYards if you want, Cinnabon. Yeah, it's a shame because I'm not sure how to edit videos, and today would have been a really good time to do an edited video since I played a little bit of Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
So just a warning, AT, he hasn't seen Picard yet, so...
Who hasn't?
Peter Quinn. So, spoilers.
I won't tell him about the whole thing with Picard being gay lovers with Rios or anything.
No, probably find Beverly.
Beverly, you see, you didn't, I'm sorry, more spoilers. Picard brutally murdered Beverly, as it turns out.
Yeah, and you don't even want to know about Captain Trek's cameo.
Ways.
Hey, I got rid of that
I
video, by the
accidentally
way.
stumbled on an article on Facebook, right? And the picture was Seven holding a guy in her arms, and the headline was Icheb is dead.
Yeah.
So I clicked on it, I read through it, well, some of it, and it was some guy called Casey, and not Manu and Taremi.
Well, yeah, they changed the actor.
Yeah,
They
mind you,
didn't.
Manu was fairly busy last year, so he probably, you know. So he was probably busy at the time.
By the way, I don't know if anybody cares about this, but I had to fill out some paperwork yesterday, and it was just kind of weird. The date yesterday was 02/20/2020.
Oh, yes, Tony mentioned that, but it's 2-1, well, 2002, 2020 yesterday for me.
Well, in the real world, it was,
yeah, West.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Man. God.
Okay, how much pain, AT?
how much pain right now?
Yeah, because I can hear it in your voice.
Oh, I'm about normal. Honestly. And that's the problem. That's why I'm struggling with work. Is that if you can hear it, then so can my customer. So I gotta, it's that's the difficult part.
Oh, it is.
To make it, you have to fake it.
Oh, yeah, but you see, fake it through that.
Well, okay, I gotta mute.
You just got what you deserve, buddy.
I gotta mute my mic because I gotta. It's injection time, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, he said he had to take his painkillers. At least I don't have to take injections at the moment.
I'm horrible with injections. I hate needles.
I like pine needles.
I don't care one way or the other about needles. As long as they're not going in my eyes. Yeah, that would be really bad.
Well, you're going to really like the Icheb scene.
Oh.
Yes, and I'm going to shout and scream.
No. Based on what you just said, you are going to flinch and cringe like you, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How could they do that to Manu?
Well, they didn't do it to Manu. That's the thing. It's a different actor.
Yeah, but it should have been him that died, really.
I know, and I'm trying to. I don't know why that is. Now there is a slim chance. I'm just saying a slim chance that Manu may come onto my channel sometime in the near future. So,
yeah,
if he does, I don't know if I'll be allowed to ask him why he wasn't there.
Well, I've got him on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
He's a friend on Facebook.
Did you ask him why he wasn't in the show?
Not as yet. I'm gonna ask him in the comments of me watching Picard. See if he responds.
Okay, let's see. I hate accounting.
Yeah. Oh, I could ask him now.
Funny thing is, I actually took college level accounting.
Yeah.
So who's better at math, you or your wife?
At math, me. And I mean, she's better with like the practical side of things, like not spending all our money before we.
Yeah.
But as far as actual raw math skills, I've got her beat.
Go on.
Like for me, algebra doesn't make my head spin. I actually kind of like when I was in college, I really enjoyed things like solving quadratic equations and that kind of thing.
Oh.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, my son's in the whole pre-cal and all that stuff, and I just look at him and go, "Don't look at me." Because that is gibberish.
And expenses would be.
All right, he's already put a status up about it because people were sending him love and regrets. And Sean Tirugo, the designer, has commented as well. You know, Trackyards have had him on. Sean Tirugo or something. Come on, where has he commented? Oh. No, I don't think he has commented. He's just left a status about it. Man. Yep, the real it chip. No, he hasn't replied to anybody.
See, I was really surprised. I mean, because I'm assuming, and I haven't followed his career outside of being Echip, so I don't know if he's been busy doing stuff. But why the heck wouldn't he be back? I mean, does he still look like Echip?
Well, he was busy filming and promoting The Passenger last year.
Mm-hmm.
He is a writer and producer as well as an actor. Yeah, it's probably a punishment for doing a fan film. CBS guidelines.
For doing a what film?
Fan film.
Huh?
You
He
know,
was in
he
a
did Renegades.
Like gay? Is that what you're saying?
Star
No,
Trek
he was-
Renegades.
Oh,
it's
fan
called
film.
Star Trek
Oh my
anymore.
gosh. Okay.
Renegades.
Fan film. I thought you said, the English word for cigarette. I was like, what are you talking about?
What?
Like
Well-
maybe he was on like a gay porn movie or something, you know?
No, The Passenger.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the chat and I'll.
18%.
Boom.
19. Let's see.
No, 2000 and was made last, 2018 I'll put. 2008, no. 2005, nope. 2018, nope. Oh man. Right. Got Manu's IMDb up. Let's see.
Hey, I need a mathematical term.
Yeah, he was busy doing Cross 3, Hell on the Border last year. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Oh, Fifth Passenger it is. that he was busy promoting as well last year. 5 crew members are forced into an escape pod built of 4 after their starship is destroyed.
Sounds.
Yeah, and he's the second main cast member with Tim Russ, Doug Jones, Marina, Armin.
Marina Sirtis.
Yeah, Zimmerman. You know.
The Star Trek actor I hate the most.
Ooh.
No, really.
After her Republican comment, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. And generally, you guys know I don't give a if Marina Sirtis, like the fact that I really would, if I met Marina Sirtis, even though I've met her before and she was very sweet, and if I met her right now, I'd want to punch her in the face. That fact has nothing to do with my level of anticipation for her appearance on Picard. I'm still looking forward to seeing Troy on Picard. Right?
Oh, yes.
So so her as a person has nothing to do to me with her as Deanna Troi.
No.
That being said, she is my least favorite Star Trek actor of all because of that comment. Because and this is the problem. She's so wrapped up in the Hollywood bubble that she genuinely believes that Republicans are these evil mustache twirling villains that just want to hate ethnic minorities and stuff. You know, like they're literally going, ha ha ha, we love being racist, you know? And it's like, where do you get this from? You know?
Yeah, I've heard this.
Read about the history, because it wasn't the Republican Party that was against civil rights.
Yeah, but it's a completely different party.
Now, actually, not as much as
it was a century ago.
That's a little bit of a myth. It's a completely different party. The only thing that's changed between the Democrats and the Republicans is the Democrats waged an incredible PR campaign after the Civil Rights Act was passed to make it sound like they're the reason that it passed. Now, it's true that President JFK was a big proponent of it before he died, and that he was, in fact, a Democrat. But what they try to hide is that JFK was going against his party to do so.
Yeah. But what you forget is we live in this wonderful time called Revisionist History Month.
Exactly.
So what really happened doesn't matter. Quit bringing it up.
And the Democrats have done because here's the problem: is that the Republicans have always believed in an egalitarian society. Right. Basically, what you see in Star Trek TOS is a Republican ideal, an egalitarian society where your skin color, whatever, doesn't matter. What matters is your contribution.
Yeah.
Right. Democrats hate that concept. They always have. It's just that they kind of switched it around a little bit. And so now their biases are to try and overly compensate by elevating those they think are incapable of elevating themselves. And so, namely, certain ethnic groups, certain sexual preference groups, stuff like that. They end up trying to elevate these people because they want to play. They really want to be. They have a savior complex. They think they're superior, and therefore should be their responsibility is to save these poor, innocent, and then throw in whatever preference term or whatever you want. And I'm tired of it. But the thing is that so since the Republicans have always been egalitarianism, well, egalitarianism is not sexy, because egalitarianism isn't, hey, I'm going to give you something. It's, hey, we want everybody to have the same opportunity to succeed. Where the Democrats will say, we'll give, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. That's much, much easier to sell. And so, and that's been, and so they wage base, and so that kind of morphed into, oh, the Republicans don't really care about you like we do. And because we want to give you stuff, as opposed to those mean old Republicans, they don't want to give you anything.
Well, over here, the Conservatives give things to the richer people, and Labour give things to the poorer people. You know,
See, that's what they want you to
on the
believe.
left, Conservatives on the right.
BC, here's the thing. So let me ask you a serious question. If all the businesses were shut down, would the economy survive?
No.
Okay. If all the rich people lost all their money tomorrow, would the economy survive?
Yes.
No, it would not.
Well, yeah, to an extent it wouldn't.
If all the Donald Trumps, the Bloombergs, the Rockefellers, all those families suddenly went broke tomorrow, then the economy would completely collapse. They are the drivers of the economy.
Yeah, they drive the financial sector.
Right. And the financial sector drives the business sector. And the business sector is who 90% of us work for. Right?
Yeah.
And
but 90% are more likely to buy things locally, which keep the local economy ticking over. Therefore, it keeps the regional economy ticking over and the country's economy ticking over.
But here's the problem. So when you say that, and you see what you said is exactly what they want you to believe, that the liberals want to help out the common guy while the conservatives just want to help the rich, right? Well, that's where Ronald Reagan got himself into a little bit of trouble with it, but he managed to overcome it as far as the PR of it when he talked about trickle down economics. Trickle down economics is a horrible term, but it's 100% accurate. Is that if the rich fail, everybody fails.
Yeah.
And so you cannot have a country where you're punishing people for being rich. If you do, the economy will tank.
Yes.
And if you want proof of that, look at Greece.
On the same hand, you can't have an economy that punishes people for being poor.
Well, yeah, I don't think that the structure, and that's why the tax structure right now needs to be completely revamped. Because I don't know about like Canada. Well, Canada and the UK are very different, but here in the US, the taxes are such that if you make less than like $30,000 a year or more than $300,000 a year, tax-wise, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah,
it's that big chunk of people in the middle that kind of get screwed. And the simple fact is, everybody should be paid. You know, it's funny because you constantly hear the liberals say, "We want the rich to pay their fair share." Well, I want everybody to pay their fair share.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah. I do believe in egalitarianism, so that's why I believe in a flat tax. If everybody is paying 15% tax, then everybody is paying their fair share. And if you get rid of write-offs, you get rid of loopholes and all that, then guess what? The rich people are going to pay 15% and the poor people are going to pay 15%.
Okay, then what do you say about this? There are people that are calling for businesses to have to get rid of their write-offs, as well as churches getting rid of their tax-exempt status. What do you think of that?
Well, it's kind of funny. I think that, in a sense, well, I don't think that religious institutions should be treated any different than anybody else. I don't believe the concept of 501c3. All right, so I don't. But I also don't believe in that there should be such a thing as corporate income tax. I think that that is the number one thing that slows our economy down is businesses paying huge amounts of tax.
Right.
And so what I think they should do is basically if you set the individual tax rate to, let's say they figure it out, because it's not that hard to figure out. You figure out what the total combined income of everybody is, get the percentage that you need for your budget, bam, there's your tax rate. So let's say it's 16%. So you make every individual pays 16%. Now that means that no individual can spend one dime of money without paying taxes on it first, right? So if you are an investor, in order to transfer that money to your personal account, you need to pay that 16%. Right? If you are a business, in order to transfer money to a person, you have to pay that 16%, right? So a person can't avoid paying taxes by declaring that they're a business.
Right.
All right, but then everybody, and in fact, so you get everybody to pay that 16%, no taxes on the business. Guess what? Now businesses are free to just do what they do and grow and everything, and employ as many people as possible, and everybody's paying the same amount personally out of their income.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I
so,
still say that businesses should pay a certain level of tax as well.
say who?
Businesses should still pay a certain level of tax as well.
No, I don't believe. I think businesses through regulation. Here's how you have businesses pay into the system. Businesses are become the provider of health care for America, right? So it becomes, because I'll tell you, this is the biggest problem with Obama's so-called Affordable Health Care Act, is that when they tried to put in this requirement that businesses provide health care, but they put in a bunch of riders for excuses not to. Oh, if the employee's part-time, if you employ less than 50 people, if you do this and this and this, then you can avoid it. So what happens? Lots of small businesses that have 53 people fire 4 people.
Yeah. Businesses should pay a percentage of tax.
No, doesn't need to be taxed. Businesses just need to pay for their health care 100%.
Education, things like that.
See, I look at it a little. I agree with you on the flat tax. It would make things easier, and it would kind of give everybody what they want, which is the equal tax, which is never going to freaking happen anyway. But at the same time, what I get a kick out of, like one of my friends and I, we refused to talk politics because the last time he got mad at me because I'm a smoker, he's not.
Yeah.
So one of his big talking points to me was, do you have any idea how much you smokers cost us in taxes with, lung cancer and treatments and stuff? I says, you know what? Take that number.
Yeah.
Then go into your tax code, find out how much the government the provincial and federal government make on taxing cigarettes. Take that number. Subtract your number, and you still got a surplus, you son of a.
Well, but here's the thing, right? I don't. People try to argue that the
tax on alcohol.
Here's the thing: when people try to argue that smokers should pay more for their health care or something, or maybe tax
They do.
on the system, it's a totally bogus argument because everybody does something unhealthy. Everybody.
Yeah.
And so, if maybe you smoke. Maybe you drink. Maybe you bungee jump. Maybe you drive too fast. Heck, maybe you drive a car at all, right? And so you're doing things that are, maybe you eat too much. Maybe you eat too many fatty foods. Maybe you don't eat enough fatty foods. Whatever it may be, you're doing things that are unhealthy. And so, you know what? So, yes, that person smokes, and the smoking is, you know what's going to happen to them? They die of lung cancer. That's their punishment. Get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, he won't talk that with me because I just look at him and go ahead, take the number, because I actually looked it up, and the government pulls in double, almost triple, in tax revenue from cigarettes.
Yeah.
Than they ever pay out in healthcare.
Yeah, for cigarettes.
Which is different because our healthcare system is different than.
With alcohol, it's more than VAT and more than a luxury tax as well. Probably about 20%.
Well, where they really soak everybody is in the fuel.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Well, if you do a true flat tax, like I was talking about, you eliminate every other form of taxation. Imagine what happens to the economy if tomorrow, and I don't know what it is in Canada, but if tomorrow in the United States gas dropped to $1.50 a gallon, because that's about what it would be without the taxes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from alcohol and tobacco.
Why?
Gas station.
Why are you making exceptions? Because here's the thing: as soon as you do that, now you are saying that the government should tell people how to live their lives, and I don't agree with that. Philosophically, I don't think the government's job is to tell me that I should or shouldn't smoke. That's my choice. And so I don't think that there should be a sin tax because it's not up to the government to decide what is and is not a sin.
Yeah.
No offense, Peter. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but that's just my personal philosophy on it. Because I think it's as soon as you say, with the exception of it's over. Eventually, it's going to turn into the convoluted mess we already have. You cannot have any exceptions. If you have any exceptions, the system will devolve into what it is now.
Yeah.
Because people will add another. Because you say, well, just alcohol and tobacco, everybody can agree with that. And then 6 months from now, well, we should probably put a tax on bungee jumping. That's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Put a tax on skydiving. That's unhealthy. You know what? We should put a tax on.
Yeah, businesses pay enough to cover the healthcare bill completely, no matter what the average citizen may do.
Right. The only people that the government needs to provide health care for are the unemployed.
You're echoing big time.
Yeah.
Everybody is, actually.
Yeah, and the disabled. I mean, we pay a contribution of our wages to the health service here. It's a small amount. Businesses do as well. Everybody pays a certain percentage. I think it's about 10%. As well as taxes on luxury products.
But who determines what's a luxury?
Yeah, exactly. The government at the time. But then it takes years of debating and trying to sort out the law and the subsections of that law, and it's got to go through 3 times here. Once in Parliament, once in the Lords, and again in Parliament. And then it could go to a referendum. So it's very complicated changing a law here.
Well, it's complicated changing the law in any country.
That's true.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it shouldn't be done.
Well, I think for a good example would be Bird would need more things that would be considered luxuries by some people, but they're requirements for him.
Well, that's why I'm saying I don't believe that the government should determine what is a luxury. That's why I don't believe in luxury taxes or sin taxes, because for some people they might think that having internet is a luxury, but Bird would have no contact with the outside world without it.
Exactly. I mean, Labour here were trying to bring in free broadband if they got elected, and that is everything. But you still pay a little bit extra in your tax for it,
Mm-hmm.
But it would be a basic internet, 10 megabits or something like that, enough for a TV stream, and so that you can get on the internet on your computer and your phone.
But
it wouldn't be for businesses.
See, I agree with Anti-Checker on the flat tax because it would make things simpler and eliminate a lot of garbage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're not going to get there in the current political climate because issues no longer matter. Period. It's all buzzwords. It's buzzwords and party loyalty to do with who gets elected.
Yeah, well, Labour had a very good, expansive what's the word? The book on, how they would do things if they got elected. I forget. But they had it all planned out comprehensively. And the Conservatives had one word, Brexit, and a 3-word phrase, get it done.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's what won
buzzwords.
it. It
Yeah,
was
it's
simple, easy.
yeah, it's buzzwords and gibberish, talking points.
Yeah.
There is no meat to any bone anymore, and it's what can you fit on a headline. If it doesn't
Yeah.
fit on a headline, it's not gonna matter much. Like I'll give you an example. In the States, I'm pretty sure I don't know how it's like in every state because I don't live in the States. I live in Canada. But up here in Manitoba, one thing I envy about the States is the way that they insure their vehicles. Because, oh yeah, because in Canada it sucks. Well, yeah, in Canada in general it sucks. Because, okay, for instance, if you wanted to insure your vehicle, you have a selection of different insurance companies, correct, Anti-Trekker?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's all private,
Okay.
so you can do whatever you want, basically.
Yeah. Ours is provincial.
Right. So you got to do it through the state.
So we have one place
Mm-hmm.
to auto pack our car. They set the rate, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, too bad.
Well, that's called socialism.
Yeah. Secondly,
Yeah.
Secondly, yeah, we don't. We have one Manitoba Public Insurance, and that's it.
Right. That's what I say. So you're a socialist system.
Yeah. And then
I'm not saying that to be derogatory. I'm just saying it as a statement of fact.
yeah. And that's why I'm agreeing. And then so what happens is with us, right? So now about 10 years ago they decided let's get rid of all the like your lower income people generally aren't buying new cars. You're not buying the brand new car off the lot because who had $50,000, right? Okay. So what they did was they decided, okay, now every car has to have a safety. So now let's say my friend wanted to sell me a car. Okay. Fine. I go to buy said car. Well, now I've got to take it into a mechanic. The mechanic's got to do an overhaul. And, they found something. Okay, so then you get the safety. Okay, fine. You pay $50 for the inspection. Then you get it brought up to code. Okay, fine. Then, on top of that, you have to turn around and so now you've got the car safetied. It's all good to go. Everything else. You still have to adhere to every rule and regulation. So basically, they're trying to make it so that any car 5 years or less, you're not. They're slowly being driven off the road because you're never going to get them safetied. Ever. So, I don't know. I just think it's annoying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a good choice here. The same with broadband. That's what America lacks, a choice with broadband. There you go. Yeah. You get one you either like it or tough.
And it's the same thing like here for our cable providers, we have 2 in Manitoba. If you don't like those 2, you're hooped. But to get certain streaming services, you have to go through the cable provider. You can't go directly. So it's a really annoying system, and you end up pulling your hair out sometimes.
Right.
Well, where I am, it's either the cable provider or the phone company. And the problem is the phone company doesn't have the speed.
Yeah, we have the same thing, MTS and Shaw.
Right.
Yeah. Which is Bell, the main company.
Right. Same here. It's a different name, but it's still Bell.
Yeah. Well, Bell basically owns everything from Ontario west.
Yeah.
Well, okay, this is a first. I'm gonna have to write this one down. Anti-truckers on a stream and quiet.
Well, because I'm doing accounting.
Yes.
Can't you see the smoke rising?
I'm actually figuring out Mr. Miles's pay because, like I said, today is payday.
$2. There you go. No,
We definitely are second month, but he's still gonna. He's
But
gonna make a few bucks, huh?
then again, we have many gas and electric energy companies here, and
Ours is
they are all basically extortionate.
ours are government regulated. Literally, it's Manitoba Hydro.
Ours are to an extent.
Ours is one.
I pay,
Manitoba Hydro.
I pay up to £60 a month, which is probably about $40.
Well, my hydro and gas bill is roughly about $150 a month.
Oh, geez. I'm a low user. I'm mainly only in the one room, you know.
Yeah, well, mainly it's the gas. It's the gas that kills you.
Yeah.
And you get that from the state, I assume.
No,
The province, yeah.
Yeah. When I say the state, I mean the
Water.
state's in the government, not the state is in the state you're in.
Yeah, it's from like our hydro is Manitoba Hydro, which is the provincial hydro company.
Right.
They are talking about privatizing it, but that didn't go so well when they did that with the phone company, because the phone company used to be provincial too. And then they decided, no, we're going to privatize it, but that was years ago. And then it tanked, and then it's never really fully recovered.
Right.
Plus, the other problem with that is Manitoba Hydro has a lot of American contracts. So it would jeopardize putting it private would probably, because the infrastructure costs a fortune to put in. And the like a lot of the dams and stuff that they're building now is ridiculous. And the funny part, you'll love this, anti-trucker. Manitobans pay Manitoba Hydro for our hydro and our electric and all that fun stuff. When they sell it to the States, they sell it less than they sell it to us. The Americans get a cheaper rate than we do.
yeah.
That's a big arguing point up here. Is, well, what the hell? We're producing it. Why are we paying more than what we're selling it for the love of But yeah,
I think my mum and granddad pay about £120 a month, but they've got a, well, yeah, it's a 5-bedroom house.
yeah, I have a
With a
2-bedroom.
garage.
Yeah, 2-bedroom duplex.
How many people you got in it?
Me, my son, and a roommate.
So 3 of you.
Yeah.
How old's your son?
16 on the 25th.
Okay.
Oh, well,
Sorry.
you can ship them out to work, man.
As far as usage.
Yeah, the main usage on my power system is my computer and his Xbox.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you say 150 a month, you said that's hydro and
Gas.
gas. When you say hydro, is that your electricity or is that your water?
No, that's electricity.
Oh, okay.
Hydro water is separate.
Hydro comes from, well, do they get the power from water?
Yeah, we have a lot of dams.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
So yeah, obviously, but you know, those damn Canucks. That's where that statement comes from, isn't it?
Somewhat. Or when we beat the USA team in hockey, but you know.
When do they not? Sorry.
True.
Sorry.
We have
Well, some years we let the Russians do it.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But no, water's separate. And the stupid thing about our water bill is it's billed every 3 months.
Mhm.
So every 3 months you get this like enormous bill in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, couldn't you do this monthly, you sons of bitch?
I'll just pay as and when through the year.
Yeah, so every 3 months I get about a $280 bill just for fun.
Yeah, I don't get a massive bill at the end of the month, and I have to pay it on direct debit. I'll just pay it as and when, which is a good thing.
But on the plus side, I mean, our hospitals are relatively good.
Yeah, my local.
Yeah, that's what you say, and yet.
But our doctors are crackpots, but you know.
So you got nice buildings.
Yeah. They're
Lovely
nice,
buildings, yes.
lovely buildings. People inside of them are fucking dumb as a stump. But,
My local hospitals are really good. They're the best in the country.
well, we have what we, I guess the best hospital in Winnipeg would be the Health Science Center.
Hmm.
And that complex is about 10 city blocks or so.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
Yeah,
it's
ours are.
hospital. So, yeah.
Yeah, ours are pretty large as well, but we have local smaller ones.
Yeah. Well, that building, the Health Science Center incorporates the Children's Hospital, the main hospital, and then the Women's Hospital.
Yeah.
So it takes up a great big piece of land.
Yeah. And we do have a private hospital here.
Oh yeah, we have private too. So.
Yeah, we just pay on top. You know, it's a private insurance, but we still pay national insurance because, well, people they'll still may have to go to A&E, won't they?
Yeah.
So they don't provide a casualty service. You know, first point of access.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my local area is pretty good for.
Oh, I actually have to give our health, Manitoba Health, a little bit of credit. They've vastly improved the MRI system. It used to be like you'd get scheduled for an MRI, and you'd have about a 12-month waiting period. Now they've got it down to about 2 months tops. So, and I mean, if you're in the hospital, I mean, you're going to get the MRI right away because the MRI machines are right there, but that's an emergency case. But for your average, like for me, I've got to get MRIs every year. So my wait time is usually 2 months. They schedule it and then I get it 2 months later.
Cool.
So they've improved that vastly.
Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting to see if our government's going to spend any money this time on staff for the hospitals. You know, we're going to lose a lot of staff because of the EU immigrants as well.
How so?
Because we've gone to a points-based system, and the majority of nurses, as well as some doctors, are under the threshold.
Not sure I follow. Point system?
Yeah, you've got to earn a certain amount before you can stay here. You know,
Okay,
before
okay,
you can
okay.
work here.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a little bit messed up.
You're
We
evil.
don't have enough British people to cover who are qualified. Seriously, so don't know how they're going to work it out.
They'll just do.
Yeah, eventually we will, I think. Hopefully. Not in the next 5 years, I don't think, though.
Well, I can speak to the healthcare here in the United States. I was lucky when I was in the hospital before. My mom, who was a retired nurse, was doing 90% of my nursing care.
Yeah, my mum's a retired orthopedic nurse.
So I mean, if I hadn't had my mom, it would have been hell.
Yeah, well, if I want some general advice, I'll just ask her, you know, instead of going up to the general practitioners. You know, it's a lot easier.
What I find funny is I'll listen to Anti-Trucker and I'll hear about him having to spend about $200. Was it $200 for your MRI, Anti-Trucker?
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. And then I'll be talking to my friends up here and they'll be complaining about having to spend $20 on a doctor's note. So I'm like, yeah,
that's hilarious.
not the same. You're lucky you're here. Shut
Again,
up.
how unfair it is that you guys sell us stuff less than you pay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Actually, you know, the stupid thing is we're subsidizing you as it is. So
yeah, well, we can turn off lights in the States.
And we can turn off prescription drugs for you.
Yeah, true.
Okay. So yeah, keep bragging about your health care. That's the thing, yeah, and that is kind of a frustrating thing. As Americans do spend a lot of money on healthcare compared to other countries, but a lot of it is because the United States is subsidizing the rest of the world.
Yeah,
almost all the research and development is paid for by us.
Yeah, because
that's the most expensive part.
There isn't many American scientists because you've got to pay exorbitant university fees.
What do you mean there isn't many American scientists? There's a ton of them.
Well, mainly immigrants, though.
Well, yeah, that's the funny thing, though. Where do the best and the brightest from all over the world go? Here.
Well, no. If you want to be the best and the brightest, you
really?
Yeah, Oxford or Cambridge.
Last time, well, the Cambridge is like, okay, they're all right, but they're
all right.
Yeah. But,
even Durham is far better than.
Yeah, I understand you want to say because Cambridge and Oxford are old that they must be smart.
No, I won't say it. I won't say it.
Well, a lot of immigrants come here to our universities, you know, so. But what we can say, though, is they're both better than Canada's.
What's that?
The universities.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never really heard of a Canadian university.
Wow, we have them all over, but yeah, they're not as.
Yeah, Canadian University is called a bus ticket to the United States.
No, I would say no.
Yeah, of course you would, because you don't realize that what no actually means. Because you've gone to.
Well, I would say it's split between the United States and the UK.
Oh, well, okay, fine. You sent some of your people over to Oxford. I'll give you that. Somebody, Dr. Alex has got to teach somebody over there. See, notice I don't have any cosmologists or anything from Canada. Oh, sure, plenty of maple syrup experts.
We
Maybe
don't.
people are
That is like the worst trope ever. Because
what? You guys make maple syrup
we make it, but that's about it.
and moose meat.
Yeah,
And
hey, that's good shit. Don't knock
You
that.
see? You see? It's not a stereotype if it's true.
don't forget
Although
the
that's
space
regulated
arm.
the rear end. But
You
that's,
know, the shuttle arm, the ISS arm. You know, the Canadian arm for engineering and space.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something good that's come out of Canada.
Well, basically, what we do is we wait for the United States to make something, and we just make it better.
Uh-huh.
Rip it off.
You guys make better.
Everything.
Please, you
Make it cheaper.
Yeah, that too.
No, when it's subsidized by us, yeah, it's easy to make it cheaper.
I
We
said
can make the
cheaper,
soap for
not
half
less expensive.
Uh-huh. Well, that's true too. Yeah, it's both. So what do you make better than the U.S.?
Well, everything.
No, you gotta be specific here. Just name one specific product.
I can't. Apart from the engineering arms and maple syrup.
Well, we'll leave maple syrup and moose meat out of it because those are Canadian exports as opposed, like what's something that we make in the United States? Like, for example, where's the Maple Leaf 5000 automobile, right? That could compete with Ford or Chevy or Tesla or something.
GMC isn't bad.
Or even Aston Martin.
Oh, that's European.
Where's the Canadian equivalent of a Humvee?
Humvee.
Oh yeah, you call it a moose.
Actually, snowmobile, but you're close.
Yeah, where are those snowmobiles made?
The United States.
Uh-huh.
Or
Keep going.
China.
Uh-huh. So
Well, what
again,
does the United States make anyway? Most of
Huh?
your stuff is made in China.
well, you just said that your snow machines are made here, so I guess you're wrong.
Made in China.
Taiwan.
And in fact, I will tell you that there is just a few miles from where I live is one of Nissan's largest manufacturing facilities. So yeah, Nissans are actually made in the USA.
Cool.
They're a Japanese company, but they're made in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we have Boeing near me and we have Nissan.
Yeah, we have Boeing up here too. Actually, we have a Boeing plant in Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm. That's their crash laboratories there.
No, that's Kuroga.
Well, yeah, it's in Kuroga in Canada.
No.
And you guys going on a bird stream saying "Hail Kuroga," thinking that that's all funny and everything. You think it's all great until you realize what you sided with, and
Well, see, the main selling point of Kuroga is Mumble Prey. So you got to side with Mumble Prey.
Absolutely.
You got to side with Mumble Prey. I mean, that's just the way. If I have to choose between you and Mumble Prey, I'd rather be on your.
Wait. So you're saying you choose Mumble Prey over Anti-Tracker?
Mrs. Anti-Tracker wouldn't make us choose.
Yeah.
Now you're trying. What if she did? So wait, you're saying Mama?
I could message her and ask.
You're saying Mama Prey makes you choose, Mrs. Anti-Tracker doesn't, and therefore Mama Prey is better?
No. That's not what I said. Nice twist. Mama Prey is why I support Kuroga. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Full stop. Mrs. Anti-Tracker just puts up with you. See, you can't separate the two because you have to give respect to both.
See, this is why the political systems are so messed up. Is because idiots think that because Mama Pray is nice, we're going to support an evil dictator. All right. And the funny thing is
that evil. So what's the difference?
That is exactly the problem with politics, because nobody votes based on what the most intelligent choice is. They vote based on the person they like.
Well, technically, we both like you both. And technically, you both were jerks for making us pick between the two of you.
First of all,
so I'm
doing the Kuroga thing long before I didn't even create Turdistan. It was one of the subscribers did.
So, I'm neutral. I support both. I'm a neutral country. I support both.
Okay. Well, we'll see how long you're supporting them when you open up your airport and they start landing planes there. By landing, I'm of course holding up air quotes.
That's okay. We have free healthcare, so it'll work.
Mm-hmm. You're going to need a little more than that. You're going to need free death care.
Actually, technically, we have that to some degree.
So, look, this is Anti-Trekkers here.
Oh.
So,
hello, Mrs. AT.
So they're saying that they're choosing Kuroga over Turdistan because they like Bird's mom. So
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, well, Peter didn't say anything. So don't worry. So, you think that they should choose Kuroga because of Bird of Prey's mom, or do you think they should choose Turdistan because I have the sexiest wife in history?
That wasn't the question.
What a kiss ass!
First of all, you can ask her right now. Do I not say that kind of crap all the time?
Doesn't change the fact that you're a kiss ass. Suck up.
No, it's because
he tells me that every day, probably 5 times a day at least.
That's
I'm sure.
The
question was, though, would you make us choose you over Mama Pray?
Nope, I wouldn't. I say do what you want to do.
Which is all the more reason to choose Turdistan. Because we believe in freedom.
We lost the host, folks.
He'll be back eventually.
Anti-Trekker, where did you put our host?
I don't know. What'd you say?
We lost our host. What did you do to the host?
This is Peter's live stream, and he just dropped off.
What did you do to the host?
Is he oh, there he is.
Still here.
Oh, he's changing his picture. Okay.
Okay, bye, guys. Have fun.
Bye,
Have fun.
Mrs.
Is Joshua planning on walking Auntie anytime today?
Okay.
Hey, Bird.
Oh, is Bird of Prey here?
Yeah, Bird of Prey is here. Welcome, Bird of Prey and Mum of Prey.
Oh, yeah. See.
Yeah, and Mom.
That's standard. I say it every time, so you can can it, AT.
Yeah.
You see, now here's the thing: if you said that to Bird, the death squads would be showing up at your door. That's the difference between Kuroga.
That's okay. They'd freeze before they got there.
So it's okay that he said death squads, since you're confident that the cold weather will stop them. Now, granted, there's a good chance that what will really stop them is the attempt to drive there. Oh, and there goes Peter again.
There goes our host again. But yeah.
So, I see how it is.
Besides, see, I got to give you heck because Bird won't, so I have to.
Oh, yeah, Bird never gives me a problem. Never at all.
You, Bird at this point is on your stream more than you are.
What? Are you? Yeah. He's on Wednesday or on Thursday.
No. Bird is on your stream more than you are. Between you breaking for the Ozio Prey segment, even when Bird's on, And then
I only do the Aussie pray when Australians super chat.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Bird is technically on your stream more than you are.
no.
Yes.
He would have to be on my stream every stream.
Uh-huh. And between the super chats he's in,
Mhm.
between how many times you play all the little recordings.
Wait. So
Don't forget about the opening and
rant.
closing.
I'll go on an epic rant for an hour and a half and then play 5 minutes of Bird going, "Oi, the dingoes," and that makes it so that he's on more than me.
It just seems longer.
Yeah. Time just stops when you're listening to Bird of Prey going, "Oi."
Which isn't even Bird. You slowed it down so that it
No, I
sounds
sped it up.
Bird.
Oh,
It's only slowed
See,
down.
you give him just as much heck, so I have to give you some just because I.
at least I didn't try to slow down the recording to make you sound drunk.
And to be fair, I give everybody heck. So
Yeah,
Just
you're so hardcore when you give people heck. Because
hey, I have 4 kids. I've learned to censor myself. Mr. Language is bad for children.
hey, I'm
So I have censored myself because I have 4 kids. So yeah, it's just now part of my vocabulary.
So you watch Star Trek Picard with your kids?
No, actually,
Yeah.
my kids don't like Star Trek. Period. They're
Oh.
more well. My son is Star Wars. My daughter won't even watch any of it.
You haven't indoctrinated them properly.
Well, actually, it's funny because Joshua doesn't really care about the nerdy stuff, but my daughter loves it.
My son and I are Star Wars all the way, and then my daughter not so much.
Well, my daughter loves like I'll tell you, for her birthday 2 years ago, I gave her the best birthday gift ever, which was a signed copy of New Mutants number 98, which was the first comic book appearance of Deadpool.
Cool.
So
like a couple of Halloweens ago, when my son was, I think, 11, we both went out as Vader. That was cool.
you were both Vader?
Yeah.
Nice.
So were you fighting over who was the father?
Time travel.
Yeah.
DK is the father.
Young Vader. Old Vader.
Yeah, well, that's what you do.
I do like that one video with Bird, though.
So I'm debating about re-signing up for NordVPN.
Why?
Why am I debating about it, or why Nord, or why VPN?
Yeah, all of the above.
Well, why debating about it is because it's $125.
Good.
Ooh.
Well, that's for 3 years.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
though.
so it's actually one of the best buys out there for a quality VPN.
Yeah.
Can you still use the discount code for Midnight's Edge?
I don't know, but well, they are doing a deal right now, though, that if you sign up for their 3-year deal, you'll get either 1 month, 1 year, or 3 years free in addition, which means that you'll get 1 month.
Yeah.
Right.
But the anyway, so it's $349 a month is what it works out to if you purchase a 3-year plan. So the price is reasonable, even if it's a chunk of change up front. So as for the why a VPN, or why Nord as opposed to anybody else, is because Nord reputation wise is probably the best.
Yeah.
And I've had Nord before. I didn't have a problem with it. Granted, the speeds when you have Nord on are slow compared to what I'm used to, but they're consistent. Because I have a fiber line in my house, so I can easily get 500 up and down without a VPN. So when you put a VPN on, it might drop down to 150 or so. But here's the thing: is that I love having the super uber high speed internet. Only problem is AT&T, the company that I'm going through, has a nasty habit of throttling YouTube. And so every time I try to do something on YouTube, it's constantly buffering, even though I'm getting 500 megabits down.
Yeah, I've actually noticed on your live streams, like recently, that and it's just yours. I can go to anybody else's live stream and it doesn't happen. It's only on yours, so I know it's not my system.
Right. So it's AT&T throttling.
So what happens is you'll say something, then it'll rewind 30 seconds and you'll re-say it. So you'll end up repeating yourself. It's really weird. It's only on your stream.
I don't know if that has anything to do with AT&T's habits or not, but I do know that I'm tired of, whenever I'm trying to watch something on YouTube or like even monitoring my own stream, like when I'm doing a stream, my stream looks like it's constantly stopping, but nobody's complaining,
Yeah, like you'll stop, it'll go back, and then you'll repeat yourself.
Well, I think that's just because you're Canadian.
Har, har, har. I'm not French Canadian. We're not backwards.
But I'm tired of the YouTube throttling, and the only way around it is to trick AT&T into not knowing I'm connecting to YouTube, and the only way to do that is a VPN. And so, because the thing is that you call AT&T customer service, and they'll say, "Well, we don't have a standard practice to throttle YouTube." And it's like, yes, you do. You just don't know about it. And I understand they can't admit they're doing it on purpose, but they will say, oh, well, if there's internet traffic, but gee, there's always internet traffic when I try to connect to YouTube.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, you can find, there's a ton of videos on it online where people will show, like they'll have a laptop and their desktop right next to each other connecting to YouTube, and they'll put a VPN on one and it connects fine, and on the other one it's constantly buffering, even though they're going through the same Wi-Fi. And it's just because the AT&T does that, because AT&T doesn't like Google.
Yeah.
As opposed to like if you're getting your internet through a company like Verizon, you won't have that problem because Verizon partners with Google.
Yeah.
And so it's just a stupid corporate BS crap.
Yeah. Isn't that a coincidence?
Well, I've got a megabit free with Aviva and with my browser. So
you got a megabit Beaver? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 1 megabit each for Aviva antivirus and Max phone.
What's Beaver?
Viva.
Aviva.
Aviva. What's Aviva?
Antivirus.
Oh, okay. Is that like does that act as a VPN or is it just antivirus?
Yes, you can add the VPN option, but I can pick and choose when I want it to go on, or
right.
Now
the other nice thing though about having a VPN is that of course you can emulate your computer to be in any country in the world.
Yeah.
And so if I want to stream something that you can't stream in the US, you just switch to another server.
Okay.
And that's what I've been I tell people, like, if the way to legally get, for example, a show like, say, Star Trek Picard, if you can't get it through a streaming service in your area, would be to VPN in as if you're in the United States and subscribe to CBS All Access.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I know that what people do is use BitTorrent to download it and all that, but I try to be legal.
There are other torrent sites available as well, just to be fair.
Well, BitTorrent is that's the software, isn't it? That's not the site. Yeah. Well, there is a BitTorrent.com, but
there's uTorrent as well for the software.
Well, I don't know the difference between them. I used to use them. Honestly, I used to use them for if I was doing a review, like when I did my Last Jedi review. I bought the Blu-ray for Last Jedi, but then I BitTorrented a copy of it for editing purposes, which is perfectly legit as long as you own a copy of it.
Oh yes.
They're not violating the law as long as you've purchased a copy. But now, thanks to the advent of everybody having everything on streaming, it's no longer necessary. So I hardly ever use BitTorrent anymore because I can just go to Disney Plus and stream it, and XSplit can record anything that's on my monitor.
Yeah.
So that makes it easy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I've been like with Picard. When I watch Picard for the first time, I just record it, and that way I can edit it up later. Like the old days of the VCR.
Oh yes, I still have a VCR.
Till the VCR eats the tape, and then you swear a lot.
Yeah. The youngins these days will never know the pleasures of using a pencil with an audio cassette.
Ah, yes.
Oh man, yeah, that was great.
I always bug my son because I'm like, you call yourself a gamer and you've never had to beat a game without saving.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
my
that was
great
my-
nephews don't understand that you can't always fast forward through commercials.
Oh yeah.
And it's
No,
like,
yeah,
no, we're watching this on live TV. It's not on the DVD,
not
DVR.
only that, but you couldn't pause it if you needed to go to the bathroom or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what commercial breaks were for.
Yeah.
So the commercial would come on, and then everybody would make a mad dash for the bathroom. First person to get into the bathroom would be the only one to get to see what happens after the commercial.
Yeah.
Which is why they only had Doctor Who on for 25 minutes per quarter. Well, whichever percentage of an episode it was, because it was always a 3, 4, 5-parter. Yeah, once a week. Doctor Who on BBC, and we didn't have adverts
One thing I do like
on
is that
BBC.
I'm getting this 3-year membership on Nord, and I hate the idea that 3 years from now it's going to auto charge my card if I don't think about it. Except that I'm using a card that expires next month, so that won't be a problem.
Yeah, I used to hate watching a long film on BBC, and you need to go to the bathroom halfway through or 3/4 of the way through. It was, you guys don't know the nightmare that we have. Because I would rather pick a film that had adverts in it on a different channel.
Yeah.
Advert.
Yeah.
You guys are so quaint.
Yeah, well, and that was when we had 4. Well, yeah, we had 4 channels back then.
I will say I do prefer the
And we got
mainly
5,
British
and then we got
and
Sky,
other.
which brought in a load of channels. But we didn't have Sky.
Go downloading NordVPN.
Oh. Don't you get a month free or something, or a gigabit or 2 free?
Well, you buy a 3-year membership and you get a month free. Woo! So you get 3 years in 1 month.
Yeah. Oh, well.
There you go. But I have to reinstall it on the computer though because I haven't had it for a couple of years. But I remember Nord was easy to use. You just click on the map where you want what server you want to use, and then you turn it on or off.
Yeah.
Then you should file a complaint that you can't broadcast from Kurdistan and just see what they'd say. Just send in a letter. Your advertisement says I could broadcast from anywhere. Why can I not advertise? Why can I not broadcast from Kurdistan? This is racist.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's racist because we're an all-inclusive nation, but
No, it would be racist that you can't anti-tracker.
here we go. All right, so signing in. So if I suddenly drop off, it's just because I turned on the VPN and I don't know if.
Yeah, it'll reconnect you. Should do straight away.
Oh boy, the Star Wars videos are coming out again.
Oh. Yeah, I noticed that earlier. I wonder what they're saying. I'm not going to bother. Because I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker yet.
I wonder what who's saying. So there, I'm connected
I
now.
wasn't as excited as I was for the previous ones.
Wait, what are you talking about? What are you excited about?
Rise of Skywalker, I wasn't as excited as I was for the previous ones. And as I say, I've had to use my media PC recently until I got a new hard drive. This January, I had to get a new phone from the provider, which means paying off the old contract and getting another 2-year one. Plenty bills this year.
All right, so now that I got the VPN on, we'll see how well YouTube does tonight when I'm streaming.
Really, Lore?
I don't think Laura's here.
No, I was looking at Twitter. Don't. I forgot I didn't click my button to mute.
What do you do this time?
He's got a poll on Twitter. Best Trek era, nostalgia Trek pre JJ verse, disco era, in brackets, also Picard.
That's not even what?
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but first of all, and don't get me wrong, you guys know that Laura's a friend of mine, but I hate just one of the things that he says that really drives me crazy. I hate that he refers to anything before now as nostalgia Trek. All right, because I look at it as there are 3 generations of Trek. First generation is TOS and TAS, and the first 6 films.
Yeah.
Second generation is TNG through Nemesis, and third generation is Star Trek 2009 to present.
Well, I would put Enterprise in the TNG to Voyager, and
that's why I said TNG to Nemesis.
Yeah,
Nemesis was
and then Discovery.
Yeah.
And
right, but
2009.
The JJ films, Discovery, and Picard are all third generation.
Yeah, but Picard remains to be seen whether it's put with after Nemesis or,
Yeah, well, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it couldn't be before Nemesis.
No, definitely not.
Right. I know that some people are subscribing to. There are universe deniers out there, right, that want to say that, oh no, this is in an alternate timeline. That the whole Midnight's Edge deal about the super secret deal that the Prime universe isn't really the Prime universe and crap like that. But people just need to get over themselves.
Why do we always have to make something so overcomplicated?
Because people are trying to rationalize why they can say that Discovery / Picard is not really Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that because it is very, but here's the problem. And I think that part of my perspective is just because I'm older than most of the people that I talk to these days. And that is the simple fact that what you're hearing from people right now is nothing new. People said that about Star Trek The Next Generation. People said that about Deep Space Nine. People said that about Enterprise. People said that about the films because they changed everything. When Star Trek The Motion Picture came out and we saw those bumpy-headed Klingons for the first time, my God, you would think that they were the Klingorks because they were.
Or the motion picture.
Yeah, because think about it. If your entire life Klingons just look like dudes with goatees, right? That's what a Klingon was just a grubby dude with a goatee. That's all it was. And then all of a sudden, they're these bumpy-headed things, right? That's the same reaction a lot of people had to the Klingorks.
Well, yeah, and where I would even draw a parallel to that is I've had lots of Star Wars talks with my son, and I says, "You think this is bad?" I says, you should have seen it when episodes 1, 2, and 3 came out. Right now, everybody's calling for George Lucas to retake over Lucasfilm. Yeah, but during 1, 2, and 3, they were calling for his head.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the problem. Is that the old saying that you should those that are ignorant of history are doomed to repeat it. That's what we're seeing. Is that people don't realize that everything people, and don't get me wrong, I'm not defending Discovery because I do think Discovery is the weak link in the Trek chain. Discovery, as far as third gen Trek, as far as third gen Trek, there are only two things that I would say suck in third gen Trek: Discovery and Star Trek Beyond. All right. I
would say Star Trek Beyond was more like the original series than the previous two.
That's only because you didn't watch the original series then.
I did watch the original series in the 80s before The Next Generation.
Round one.
Here's the thing: if you really examine Beyond is actually more like the first two seasons of Next Generation with an original series coat of paint on it. And especially if you consider the plot of Star Trek Beyond as an anti-military plot, which has never been a part of the original series.
Yeah.
But was very much a part of Next Generation.
It was more Star Trek than the other two, though.
I don't think so. I think that the Star Trek 2009, here's the thing. I'm not saying Star Trek 2009 was a perfect film, but I felt like the characters felt like the raw essence of who Kirk, Spock, and the rest were.
Yeah, they were.
Except for Scotty. Scotty was stupid, but then Simon Pegg is like the most overrated guy in history. Peter, Simon Pegg's from your end of the world. What the heck? Why do you guys love him so much?
I've got no idea, but
you guys hate
shit.
I'm blaming you.
Yeah, no wonder.
Round 2.
Yeah, he was in.
Bad Mortal Kombat reference.
In Spaced, which is a really good sitcom. That was really quite geeky, nerdy. They always had mentions and all sorts. They were into the same sort of stuff as we are. That's probably why. And he's a big Trekkie.
Wow. Every actor in history who has ever played on a Star Trek movie or show, their first line out of their mouth was, "I always watched the show. I was a big Star Trek fan."
No, he said this.
And they do the same thing for Star Wars, and they do the same thing for any other show. That's the first line out of their mouth is, "I was a big fan." Name me your favorite episode. Oh, there were many.
I completely understand that, but Pegg was a big fan before he was cast as Scotty.
Yeah, that's what he says. And then he turned around. And I think Pegg was just a big fan of J.J. Abrams because then he turned around and was in The Force Awakens. I mean, if he was a diehard Trekkie, the last thing he's going to do is be in a Star Wars movie.
That's possible. But, he knew Abrams when he went into Star Wars.
See, I always loved both equally, but that's just me.
Well, my grade 7 final essay was Star Trek versus Star Wars, an adaptation of a novel.
Nice. Yeah, well, it's a big debate. I enjoy that. I enjoy both.
Oh
you
no,
know,
no, no! I
within
had
their
I
separate
had like
genres.
I had like the Star Wars world versus Star Trek world. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the 30-page thing.
So who
I
won?
got an A. Star
Mhm.
Trek. Oh yeah, I
Nice.
pissed off. A lot of my friends were all Star Wars nuts,
Right.
which was part of why I made sure that Star Trek won.
Right.
The Emperor and Darth Vader got assimilated. Because I was an ass.
You would. And the Force would have been assimilated as well.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, the Borg with the Force. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, that would be really okay.
I got an A, so I don't care.
Okay, I'll admit to something right now.
Oh, jeez, here it comes.
No, wait. Now, before seeing episode 5, I'd gone shopping that day, and I bought the book, The Empire Strikes Back. I
Uh-huh.
read it before the movie. I already knew the secret. I was still shocked when I saw it on screen. I was going, no, this can't be real.
Yeah. I would have been as well. Oh, it's Equinox tonight on Voyager. Oh, lovely.
At least it isn't my favorite episode of Voyager.
What? Threshold.
That's one of the two I hate, yes.
Yeah. Oh, the Iris episode.
What's the
Any
other one?
Iris
I'm trying to
episode.
think of it. The, where they're in the clown one. The clown one. Where they're put in the tubes and they interact, but the clown is acting as the
Oh,
environment.
yes. Aye, him.
It's like
Yeah,
that.
and then Janeway comes in at the end,
Right,
but she's not actually there.
right. I hated that episode.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst episode, though.
Okay, what was the worst?
Threshold.
Okay, besides Threshold, we all agreed that was the worst.
I can't think of one. I mean, Equinox is a pretty good, solid two-parter.
I'd
Yeah.
agree, but I do think they could have made some changes to it.
Yeah. I mean, come on, they're doing exactly what anybody would do, you know.
And I'm sorry, you know, Janeway had a stick up her ass.
Yeah,
I don't think that was a stick.
that wasn't the problem.
You ever notice that, you know, Chakotay was always following her? Just saying.
Anti-tricker.
Good God.
Blackness set.
Well, if anything, I would have thought you would have said it was the other way around. But
Anyway, but so yeah, so here's the thing. So lore basically says that all good Trek is nostalgia Trek. And then you have he separates the JJ films from the Discovery / Picard era,
right?
Despite the fact that if you look at the Discovery / Picard era and the JJ films, you can tell that they're the basically very similar design aesthetics.
Yeah, and
so that's why it's annoying to me, because why the heck can't he see that there are three distinct time eras, and the thing is, all three of them have a very distinct look.
Because it's
yeah.
not it's not a matter of the eras, it's what people like and then what they
Right.
don't like, and then they just what they really, really hate is over there somewhere.
Well, what people tend to hate is whatever comes after them.
Well, yeah.
So, like like I said, for people like myself that grew up in the 70s with reruns of the classic original Trek and then the animated series as a Saturday morning cartoon, when TNG came out, we were like, what is this crap? Right? This isn't Star Trek. This is a freaking hotel in space. What's with these big beige rooms everywhere? What's these, stupid PJs for uniforms? Why is the captain old and bald? Why is there a Klingon on the ship? The Klingons are evil. There's a
I'll give you this. I hated those PJs, like the full onesie. I liked it when they switched
the first
later in the series. They switched it to an actual pants and
this chiropractor.
Okay, I'm guilty of one thing. I cannot remember what they call those damn uniforms where the men wearing a skirt.
Oh.
Those I hated. I just thought were so stupid.
Yeah. That was brutal.
What they're called.
Yeah, I did take that poll, by the way. And as of right now, 88.9% prefer the nostalgia Trek. Under 1% JJ verse, and 11.1% for quote unquote disco era.
But you see, I would be more interested in that poll if he actually separated the original series from the rest of.
Exactly. That's what it should be.
Yeah, because we all like what we entered the fandom in. Like myself, I started at TNG, Anti-Trekker, TOS. So we're always I akin it to your first car. Your first car might be a complete piece of garbage, but you're always going to remember that car fondly because it was your first car.
Right.
Yeah, the skirt dress for men and women was called a scant.
Yeah.
That's it.
There you go.
Should have been called a mistake.
I'm just changing the image.
Those transvestites in the 23rd century.
Oh, I've got to delete some.
That's why Bird liked it so much.
There we go. Now I can upload it. There you are, the scant. And I put it in the perfect place.
Yeah, it looks like there should be something hanging just below the edge of that skirt.
Like sausages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a wedding once, and for the first time I'd worn a kilt as an adult. My first adult kilt, and I decided in my wisdom that I would vanish from the ceremony. Well, after the ceremony ended, go to the butcher's and turn up at the reception with a line of Cumberland sausages hanging from my underwear.
I bet that went over like a fart in church.
It was bloody hilarious. Half of them were complaining and the other half just burst out laughing. It went down as well as I thought it would do, It's not good to have a dirty mind, but it helps. No, it was rather cold, so I wasn't wearing a kilt in the traditional fashion,
Oh,
You wore a kilt, but not in the traditional fashion.
Yeah, well, it would have caused shrinkage.
Uh-huh. If that was your worry, then you're already a little too shrunk.
No, it would have been shrinkage.
fatality. Anyway, enough with the bad Mortal Kombat references.
In the middle of winter.
Peter Quinn,
Okay,
Bird
let's change the
backstage.
subject.
Yeah.
What about the birds transvestites?
Bird of Prey is backstage.
Cool.
Oh, great. Well, in that case, you guys have a good one. I'm going to get out of here.
Oh, Anti-Trekker's being a prima donna. He can't share the panel with that.
You guys were all saying how you prefer Kuroga. So
everybody prefers Kuroga.
He's being a prima donna, Bird.
I've been working on that video since I finished with Anti-Tracker yesterday.
That didn't sound good.
I hope you caught my good cheek. So Bird, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Why is it that you would pay for an autographed picture of Michael Burnham, but not for an autographed picture of William Shatner?
That is the complete opposite of what I said.
I played the audio.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't listen to your stream last night. I haven't had time.
That's okay. Here, just take a listen. I got it right here, I think.
Riker, I could go either way on.
Hey, Riker was a pretty handsome man, so
That's what I meant. Just to be clear.
Miles says yes. Nobody's recording.
Yeah,
Sure,
Mr. Miles. I would pay that, Josh Tree. If anybody gets a Michael Burnham autograph and thinks they're going to get me to pay for it, I won't pay for a Michael Burnham autograph. Now, William Shatner autograph, yeah, you're out of your mind. I would take it if it was free, yes, but I don't think I would pay.
So there you go. Absolutely.
I don't remember it happening exactly like that.
Of course not. You were drunk and or medicated.
I was in the stream. That is doctored to hell.
Yeah, that sounds like a Kurdistani deep fake, which isn't that deep.
Well, I'm just saying my spies in Kuroga managed to smuggle that film out, or that audio, out, so.
So you're not
Miles
giving Miles
for
enough
you.
work is what I'm hearing.
It's all right, Bird. I understand. You have a thing for Michael Burnham and you hate William Shatner. Just like you have a thing for Gowron, apparently, and you think Martok is horrible. It's okay.
Changeling Martok was horrible.
Yeah, well, Changeling Martok
please.
said, "Hail Kuroga."
AT, share what you're having right now, because I'm having pain. So share it with me.
Share what with you?
Whatever you're having that's giving you these delusions.
I'm not having any delusions. First of all, General Martok, or Chancellor Martok, I should say, is the one who, without any prompting from me, said death to Kuroga when Bird tried to slimily trick him into saying "Hail Kuroga." So that was a beautiful moment.
Although I still
What happened
maintain
backstage before you all came on?
On that stream,
Yeah, what did you give
I
him?
had nothing to do with that stream. I wasn't.
Well,
on
you had
that
nothing to do with the stream. He just came out and said
that stream, Bird.
That's
I
the
had
Kuroga.
zero. I was not on the panel. I didn't have any backstage input.
You know what we're talking about. The stream you did talk to him.
The stream I did talk to him. I admit that I talked to him.
But would he have sided with you if he knew that you said that blood wine was for sissies?
Or that Klingons were basically pussies.
Well, actually, I think he would have, because he would understand the context of a warrior saying things to diminish the manhood of another warrior as a part of jest, which is something that warriors do. They say, "Oh yeah, I'll kick your ass because you're a little sissy," and then but actually, it's a sign of respect. So, for example, as a former soldier in the Army, I have no problem referring to Marines as jarheads because they're stupid, right? However, I really say that out of respect. And I'll say, people in the Air Force, and in fact, the funny thing is, I actually talk to people from the military every now and then on my job, and when I'm talking to someone who was in the Air Force, and I'll say, "Oh, you were in the Air Force? I'm sorry, I thought you said you were in the military." That's I say that every single time. So that's just, but that's actually a sign of love and endearment for that other person, despite the fact that what you're saying is an insult. So I understand, Bird, that you not being a warrior couldn't understand that when I was making fun of the Warriors drink and the Klingons and stuff, that I was actually showing my deep love and respect for the Klingons. I understand you couldn't possibly comprehend.
Right. So whenever you want to say something, you really can just say you meant the complete opposite because reasons.
Revisionist history at its best.
Because quantum.
See, that's the problem. It's something that non-warriors don't have a difficult time with. I understand. It's something that people.
With my friends,
I think Peter's kind of. You understand what I'm saying, right, Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah. See. And Peter, being from the north of England, is close to some of the greatest warriors on the planet.
So is that the same thing as when Canadian Air Forcemen say that the way you defeated an American air squadron is you turn off the autopilot? That's an endearment?
Well, you see, here's the problem. There are no Canadian warriors. That's the problem. But
I would.
Well, I know you think the Royal Canadian Jacksmen are the mighty force.
Seriously? Vimy Ridge. End of
Ruby
story.
Ridge.
Vimy Ridge.
Yeah, it's the great battle of Vimy.
Batwoman. Ruby Ridge.
I'll give you this much, Ramlin Canuck. I genuinely believe that the combined military forces of Canada might be able to defeat the emus of Australia. I'll give you that much.
Yeah. And the American rule is what? Pray and spray?
Actually, first of all, it's the term you're thinking of is spray and pray, but no, that's not the American system. What you're actually confusing that with something we referred to as shock and awe back in the early 90s, which, by the way, worked.
Shock and awe was created in World War II.
Well, the shock and
by
awe
the British, to be exact.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about in the modern.
Like the Germans are pretty shocking and awing to people. I'm just saying.
Thanks.
That Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, Blitzkrieg was the German, variant of that. But our shock and awe worked great because what happened is that we scared the living crap out of them before we put one soldier on the ground.
Yeah, you also dropped munitions on places where the munitions cost more than the bloody thing you were blowing up.
Yeah.
In order to prevent the unnecessary waste of lives.
You deny it to the enemy who can't afford to rebuild it.
Right.
We can.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to understand the overall strategy. You're right that using a $100,000 bomb to blow up a $10,000 building may seem like a complete waste until you realize how much. When you see, I'm sure you've seen from the first Gulf War the shots of the night sky just being completely lit up.
Yes,
that the whole point of that was to scare the crap out of the supposedly badass Republican Guard, who then immediately.
Oh please. They had Sherman tanks. They weren't bloody well badass. Give me a break.
Supposedly badass.
Give me a break.
And
in a way, I'm sorry, and I don't mean, and I know you're just joking, but that is one touchy subject for me. I hate when people insult the Canadian military.
I understand, but here's
because we have a proud history, and I'm sorry, but if it wasn't for us, Britain would have went under in World War II. Not the United States, us. So saying that we're a bunch of cowards pisses me off.
I didn't say you're cowards.
You
In
said
fact-
the Canadian military couldn't even beat a bunch of emus. If it
No,
wasn't for the Canadian military, there
uh,
wouldn't be an end to World War II.
First of all,
That's-
Ramling,
The Empire as well.
I said that the Canadian military could defeat the emus, which is more than the
But-
Australians managed to do.
But
And
our army is
wait,
proud and
I would
fighting
dare
force.
say
Thank
that
you.
it takes an incredibly brave person to wear a kilt, hop on a yak. So
You
even
cut
though,
out.
yes, the Royal Canadian Kilted Yaksman is
the Pacific.
And
Huh?
I'll tell you this too. Those kilted men that you're making fun of in World War II trained your troops.
oh sure.
So
But that's the thing. Well, like I said, that's and actually, Ramling, you're kind of, when I'm calling them the Royal Canadian Kilted Yaksmen, which of course is a reference to Ren and Stimpy making fun of the Canadian Mounties.
yes.
But when I call them that, that is actually me showing a Canadian Mounties. I actually do have a lot of respect for the Canadian Mounties and everything, but I'm not going to say that because I'm not Canadian, right? So I can't
Yeah.
give you,
Well, it's just, and I don't mean to go off, but that's one thing that does bother me because our military has done a lot,
Mhm.
and the difference is we don't, we're not as
Start fights.
verbal about it.
Yeah, you don't start fights. You help.
Finish them.
Apologize.
Help
No, we
other-
finish them.
You're an essential part of the world decent society.
So, all that being said, is from one warrior to another, to a Klingon particularly, but or maybe a flat-headed Klingon versus a bumpy-headed Klingon. What's the best thing you could possibly say to insult a Klingon? Call him a pussy.
Well,
Yeah.
you might not live through the experience, but
Well, but except that
depending on the Klingon.
here's the thing. Actually, and it depends on the context and the individual saying it. For example, look at, and it was a beautiful scene from Deep Space Nine. Who's the one person who Martok himself backed down from? Freaking Nog.
Nog.
All right. It had nothing to do with
You got respect for him because of what he was saying.
right, because he wasn't about to
And
back
he was
down.
brave.
Yeah, I suppose.
So
But yeah, no, that's just a touchy subject because I've had to deal with that. Being Canadian, I've had to deal with that like a lot. Is you guys don't have a military? Yeah, we do. We just don't advertise it as
we
much.
let you believe you have a military. I know it's okay.
Uh-huh. And yet, every time you guys get into trouble, who's the first ones you call on? Us.
Well, we actually, so the Canadian, no, you're right. The Canadians and the Brits and the Australians are among our closest allies. The English-speaking world, we know, because here's the thing: we know because we're kind of all brothers in the sense that we're we all came from Great Britain, basically, right?
Yes.
And
Spain
so if any one of us, if somebody attacked Canada or the UK or Ireland or Australia or the United States, every one of us would immediately send everything we had.
yeah.
Because we can, and that's the thing. But we're also going to insult the crap out of each other. We're going to talk about how the Limeys have stick up their butts, and the Canadians have nothing but maple syrup, and the Australians can't beat a bunch of flightless birds.
Yeah, and Americans are all fat McDonald's eaters.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about bird of prey. Absolutely, yes.
And your marksmen suck. And
And I'll have you know, I scored a perfect score as a marksman.
see, but if I had my Canadian military friends up here, they would go, "Yeah, but we were talking about actually hitting the target, not emptying your clip." See, and that's our jokes with you guys. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I'll tell you what. And here's the thing: I'm 50. I'm 52 years old. I have not held a rifle in, gosh, at least 30 years. And I would dare say that I could probably outshoot anybody on this panel.
Well, yeah, me, I can't shoot anymore. My
Well, I know I
hand
could
shakes too
outshoot
much.
you, but
My hand shakes too much. I can't.
now
do it.
Bird, of course, he can't even get out to the rifle range, so he's already disqualified. Notice how quiet he's being because he's I should say he muted his microphone because he's sitting there crying right now and he doesn't want us to do it. I get that. He's got soot in his eyes.
But no, it's just the Canadian military thing. That's a touch button for me because it annoys me because we're and in a way I blame Britain for it because a lot of the stuff we did they take credit for.
Well, Peter's right there next to you.
It pisses me off.
Stop getting mad at the turd. Get mad at the Brits, or
like the whole Italy campaign.
Yeah.
So, Peter, what's the deal? Why you guys,
or when the British government decided
your maple syrup brothers,
or when the British government decided to send the Canadian military into Dieppe without bloody well getting any bloody reconnaissance, and a whole bunch of our soldiers were set to the machine guns because they were a bunch of morons. But anyway,
wow.
Say what you really think.
Well, but what I really want to know is, does Bird, do you have anything to say about any of this?
He was releasing a video, that's why.
What's that, Bird? I thought Bird was trying to say something about it, but...
I'm here.
I have sex with she-males.
There it is.
Having sex with she-males.
Okay.
Just me.
I'm not me.
That's just what Bird said.
I have sex with females every day.
I did not say that.
The males.
I'm pretty sure you said it, Bird.
Canuck, I think you should reply to Miles.
Miles.
Oh, see the chat? I can't see the chat.
I'm reading it.
I can read it out. Canada don't have the resources to have a military like the US.
Actually, you're incorrect. We do. We just choose, okay, here's the difference.
You have to understand the power of the maple syrup bomb.
No. The difference is we have two different philosophies. And I can explain this best by World War II standard. Okay? The United States is a country that builds up for the war that might happen. Okay?
To prevent the wars, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Britain did the same thing. And then you end up getting into overly costly, bloody ammunition wars like the old battleship between Great Britain and Germany. However, Canada builds when they need it. Canada started.
Too late.
Yeah, that's why they.
Too late.
Actually, and Bird has actually got a good point. You see, here's the deal: is that Canada can take the luxury of building when you need
Canada can only
if you have the United States as your next door neighbor.
True.
I don't blame Canada for taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
But they acknowledge that it's because the United States borders them to the south that they don't need to spend a third of their total.
And before that, it was the British.
And by the way, just to be clear, and I'm not trying to.
Yeah, belittle us. Yep.
No, I'm not going to.
We suck. Yeah, okay.
No.
We protect you. You send us your oil. It's a win-win.
Yeah. Here is the actual list
and maple
of military forces ranked by power, raw fighting power. Now, number one should surprise.
Not counting Karoga.
Well, no, Karoga and Kurdistan are not on the list because you know that we would be so high on the list that it wouldn't be fair to the
numbers in frontline military.
Right. But anyways, no, this is based on the number of active personnel, tanks, aircraft, attack helicopters, aircraft carriers, and submarines.
Mm-hmm.
So based on those factors, the most powerful military in the world should be no surprise the United States.
Yes.
Followed by Russia, China, Japan, India, France, South Korea, Italy, United Kingdom, Turkey, Pakistan, Egypt, Taiwan, Israel, Australia, Thailand, Poland, Germany, Indonesia, and Canada.
Yes.
Canada is number 20 in the world. Now, is that a horrible thing to say? No, it's 20th. That's actually not that bad. There are, several hundred countries behind you.
Yeah.
No, it's 32.
But you also have to consider that if you look at the actual final military strength score, Canada has about 1/10 the military power of the United States.
Yes.
But in reserve, we have territorials which are double, maybe triple the size, part-timers, which are triple the size of our actual armed forces.
But anyway, as I was trying to,
And I'm not sure if that list counts that.
in World War II, Canada started out as one of the smallest navies. By the end of World War II, we were the third largest.
Yeah.
Well, I will say your Navy is, let me see, well, you're tied with Poland, Germany, and Indonesia. You actually have more submarines than Indonesia.
Yeah.
So, but Indonesia's got a huge number of active personnel compared to you.
Yes. That's just population.
But
anyway, Bird, what time are you planning on going live? Is that in half an hour or so?
No, I'll be at least 2.5 hours. Like 5 p.m. Eastern.
Well, I was
I
considering
just got the notification for your video, Bird.
Well, that's good.
This better be a good one.
They're all good.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a batting average about the same as, say, if you took your average kid from Hoboken, New Jersey, and put him on the, Oakland A's.
No, I have a batting average as if I took the best singer from Hoboken, New Jersey, and put him on 1 million golden records.
1 million golden records.
AKA Frank Sinatra.
I don't think Frank Sinatra had 1 million gold records because there's no person in history who has recorded 1 million records.
Quiroga awarded him 999,952 golden records.
Let me see.
Posthumously.
Uh-huh. And that's the sad thing is that, people like Rambling Canuck and stuff are perfectly willing to accept Quiroga's, trying to rewrite history. But
you rewrite history every day.
No, I don't. I always provide the proof.
The doctored
proof using doctored video, doctored audio.
Yeah.
Hey, poor Auntie is chained to her bed. Can't even leave her bed. She gets up to go to the other side of the room, and you're pulling her back, and you're calling her back.
I call her back. I don't pull her back.
You're giving her food to get her to come back. All she wants to do is move to the other side of the room, probably get away from your loud voice. And you're like, oh, Auntie, come back, and you won't feed her unless she comes back.
Yeah, I don't feed her unless she comes back.
Well, why is she so into food? A little morsel of food, she comes running back. I think you've been starving her.
Hey, look, first of all, just because we found the information on WikiLeaks, I know you don't like it, Bird, but
you're only 10 years late to WikiLeaks. Is that what you said?
No, I didn't get them myself. I don't mess with WikiLeaks, but some of my agents found it there.
Oh, yes.
But I understand, Bird. You gotta you need to compensate. It's okay.
I'm not a big fan of WikiLeaks either.
There's Auntie tied to her bed.
How is she tied to her bed?
You probably have it under her or something.
No.
Food.
Actually, if I actually pick up, like if I shake the bag that has
You want a treat, Auntie? Jerky?
No, well, cats come running when I shake the treats. But that's ready enough to go back and forward to that dish, and there's always food there.
Yeah. See.
Twice a week, you even get meat. Ooh, cat meat.
Auntie can't run. He's got her leg tied down.
I do not have her leg tied down. Jeez, Bird, you're confusing Auntie with what you do to the orphans in the mines.
Yeah. No, it's just having to lie down nicely. Hey, Auntie.
But in all fairness, Anti-Trekker, you may say that the United States pays for everything, but whose fault is that? It's the United States. They
Oh,
set
okay.
it
So
up
you
that way.
want us to stop paying for your stuff? Okay.
Well, and that's why we don't have the military complex that you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's because
But here's the thing. This is what
other priorities.
You want to talk about things that like pet peeves and stuff. Here's the thing. So you have people, and I'm not saying you do this, but people from all over the world that will sit there and talk about how horrible the United States is because we've got our military everywhere. But damn, if we actually threatened to back out, would they change their tune?
Well, yeah. They okay. The United States has basically taken over Britain's role.
Right, we're the world's police.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you guys should have done.
Well, that's in hindsight is 2020. You can argue about that, but here's the thing: we are, the sole remaining superpower in the world.
Yes,
and as such, we could either take the proactive role of basically trying to make sure that there's good peace, justice in the American way or whatever, or we could sit back and just let the world burn.
Mm-hmm.
So you think we should have sat back and let the world burn?
No.
We should implement the Prime Directive.
But at the same time, to belittle a country because they've decided not to build up a whole bunch of things to kill people, is not.
Well, if you're saying so then don't have a military at all. Why do you have police?
And
well,
wait.
You said no. All these countries, you're mad because we don't build up a bunch of stuff to kill people. Fine. Why do you have police? Police kill people.
Yes, they do.
Why do you have the military at all? But
not as
we
much
have
outside the U.S.
we have what we need and no more, no less.
Mm-hmm. So if the United States stopped protecting your ass, you would have enough.
Yeah.
Really? So you think your 1/10 military is going to stand up against, say, a hostile Chinese attack?
Well, China wouldn't attack. That's
Why not?
The problem. Well, it depends. Okay.
You think it's a problem that they don't want to attack you?
Okay. Let me explain it another way. Now, when you say, okay, United States isn't going to protect our ass. Okay. So when Canada decided not to join you in the second Gulf War, the slack we got for that was a lot. But so why did you need us? Why was it so bad that we didn't join you if we have no military? If our military sucks so bad, why did it matter? Why did you need us?
The idea as far as the coalition in the Gulf War, it was not about us needing the help. The United States absolutely could have won the Gulf War completely unilaterally.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
we
were
have
going
that.
up against Sherman tanks. I mean, come on.
But even if they had modern tanks, and by the way, they weren't all Sherman tanks.
At the time of the Gulf War, Iraq had the third biggest military in the world.
Right. and they had T-80s, which were
Russian.
They were Russian, but they were good Russian tanks. You weren't talking about World War II era tanks here. And I know you were just being hyperbolous, but let's be real for a second. The Republican Guard did have a significant force.
Miles, look, Canada increases their military power when they are needed, and that is the absolute point of this.
Yeah, I mean, okay. We don't have 8 aircraft carriers sitting around doing nothing, collecting dust.
Mm-hmm.
But
you would need to if we didn't.
As do we.
That's the thing. Is that if the United States decided, well, we're only going to build enough to defend our country, right? Because that's all anybody needs is just enough to defend their own country. Yeah. Well, then guess what? We pull our forces out of every nation where we've got forces, right? Like 180 nations where we currently have permanently stationed troops.
Okay.
So we pull them all home just to defend the borders of the United States, which, by the way, would end the illegal immigration problem, but that's a whole other aside.
It would also tank the American economy, but that's besides the point. Go ahead.
It wouldn't tank the American economy.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Well, it would in the sense that all those other countries would suddenly start to fall apart.
Your monopoly on oil would go out the freaking window.
What monopoly on oil? What crack have you been smoking?
It's not crack. It's serious. It's why you can have the American dollar where it is.
I don't understand what you mean by monopoly on oil.
Yeah, we don't have a monopoly on oil. You do realize that the United States has no control over OPEC, right?
And the UK has our...
Okay, so when the UK goes to buy oil, what do they buy it in?
They buy it in barrels, I presume.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, you mean that the standard currency is the dollar?
There you go.
Okay, that has nothing to do.
So if you pull everything out, and you do what you just said, okay, so the American economy will tank because no longer will everybody have to buy it on the American dollar, which keeps the American dollar inflated.
And guess what happens if the American economy tanks?
Everybody tanks.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, you know what?
I'm not arguing that point.
Here's the thing, Emily. The reason
2008.
The reason the standard currency is the dollar has nothing to do with our control over oil. The reason the standard currency is the dollar is because everybody wins by the dollar being strong.
Yeah, because they control the banks as well.
Right.
I thought OPEC started taking euros for...
No, it's all bought on U.S. dollars.
It's still on U.S. There's been talk about them switching to euros.
Oil tanks, the banks tank, and then we have a world recession like we have done.
Yeah, it won't be a recession.
It would be a complete meltdown because of the way the world has been set up.
Right. So us pulling the military out wouldn't cause the dollar to suddenly collapse because they're not going to suddenly change the worldwide currency out of spite. And if they did, they would just be shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, yes, because of the way it's set up. Yes.
Right.
But at the same time,
and Mr. Miles wants us all know that he needs to pee.
we do as much, I think, I would say, for each other. Whereas everybody is dependent on everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just the United States.
Economically, you're right.
It's not just the United States. Yes, the United States does pay a hefty share. Also, the United States does a lot
internationally. The United States pays for the UN. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah. So
which is a useless.
You think that's
organization fair? Anyway? No, actually. No, I don't. I have a very negative opinion of the UN, but that's the point.
Well, I'm just saying. So the United States is footing the bill for the UN. The United States is footing the bill for worldwide prescription drugs. The United States is footing the bill for medical research across the board. But we're the big baddies because we have the biggest military. But if we backed out our military, everybody else's borders would collapse. And so we're also the only reason that all these socialist countries in Europe can even exist, because without us, they would get overrun.
Yes and no.
No, the answer is yes. It's not
yes
a yes
and
no.
no. It's not a great answer when yes means the Russians are coming through.
Yeah.
Town.
Which they won't, because actually we rely on a lot of their oil as well and power.
Well, then we should just back out and see how well you guys get along.
Well, Europe does rely on a lot of Russian oil.
The Russians,
they're not just going to engage Europe because they get a lot of money from us.
What's that little country in Eastern Europe? Oh gosh, I can't remember now. But
Ukraine.
Yeah. So the Russians will just.
Crimea, the Crimea has been disputed for a long time.
Right. So the Russians will just get along with Europe and respect your borders, I'm sure.
And actually, in all due respect, actually
revolted against the Ukraine government to start with.
Actually, I would propose that the United States pulling out its military would affect the UK a lot more than it would affect us.
Oh, it would definitely affect the UK more than it would affect Canada, because Canada still has the advantage of being next door to us.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that we may not, we
can't let Russia take over Canada for our own sake.
Right.
We could let them take over the UK. I mean, we wouldn't.
Right.
But it wouldn't be an immediate danger to us if they did.
Right.
It
Which
would
is
be
why
an
it took us
immediate
so long to
danger.
get involved in the war in the first place.
Canada.
Notice when the Nazis were overrunning, France and other countries around Europe, we kind of sat back and said, it doesn't really affect us. But when the UK was seriously threatened, that's when we stepped up.
Hawaii.
Huh?
Until Japan attacked Hawaii,
Right,
then you entered the war on both sides.
But then
actually,
there were American pilots that had
Europe.
gone to the UK to fight and fly UK planes to fight the Nazis.
Yes.
Because
I will grant you that. Yes. But the United States actually. No, the United States did not officially enter World War II until the man who shall be not named officially declared war on the United States 2 days post Pearl Harbor. Otherwise, you would not have gone into Europe.
He had no choice because he knew we were getting in anyway. So he figured,
you would not have got. You would have had no excuse to go into Europe. You would have only attacked Japan.
Okay, you go ahead and believe that.
Well,
we would just let the UK fall, even though we'd already sent pilots there.
Well, you sent pilots. There was the Lend-Lease, which was the beginning of where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
economically.
The Nazis did declare war on the United States before the United States entered the war in Europe.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So if we were to pull out the military from around the world, do you think that everything would be stable?
No.
Okay. Then why are you trying to say that it would?
I'm not saying it would.
Okay, then why? But here's the thing. You're
saying, okay, say that we should pull out.
Yeah, you were just
in a way. Okay.
Conversation.
Okay.
That's what you get for having multiple Americans on the panel.
Oh, I just feel like I'm you on Midnight's Edge.
Yeah.
I'm honestly curious. I thought that's how we started this conversation.
No, we started this conversation because I got annoyed because Andy Tricker started belittling the Canadian military.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off because we're not as big as you. We don't have all the aircraft carriers as you. We don't have the bloody 5,000 Abrams tanks sitting in a backyard somewhere collecting dust.
Here's the problem. Wait.
It did start it.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Ramling.
But I didn't get involved until I heard somebody say that we should pull everything out.
Right, because Bird likes to pull things out. But
son of a bitch.
But Ramling, You see, the way you just said that is a perfect example of why I get so defensive and go for the jugular on these things. Is because you're sitting there talking about how we have thousands of Abrams tanks sitting around in someone's backyard, like you're just insulting us for overbuilding the military. But if we didn't overbuild the military, you would have to, and so would all of Europe, and
if
so would all of Asia.
If you didn't overbuild your military, you wouldn't have to pay so much in healthcare.
And that's where you're going wrong.
One aircraft carrier could give the United States, every person, full health care.
That is a load of crap, my friend. That is an absolute load of crap.
Aircraft carrier.
Do you know how much an aircraft carrier costs? Because I think you were over.
That math doesn't work, Rambling.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I'm exaggerating a little, but
no,
still,
you're exaggerating completely. Here's the problem: is that once again, you're not taking into account we are paying for your damn prescription drugs. Okay, if you want to really say, oh, why don't you Americans have health care? Fine, you pay your own fair share because we're paying for your drugs right now. So don't be bitching to me about American health care costs when we're paying for you.
I wasn't bitching about.
No, but here's the thing: you just said, "Oh, we shouldn't build the military so we can provide our people with health care." We couldn't. That's what you don't understand. We're spending so damn much on research and development for the rest of the world that we could completely shut the military down, and it wouldn't be enough.
What I've seen is that even if we stopped all military spending, it would cost like 6 to 8 times our total budget to pay for health care for the United States as a whole.
The UK government actually spend a total of 3.9 billion in research and development of pharmaceuticals.
That's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, the United States
still do a lot of work.
Well, no, we don't matter. The United States is the only one that matters in the world.
No.
Yep. No,
I'm not saying that.
No, that's exactly what the anti-checker just said. We suck, we don't matter, and they pay all of our bills. Okay.
So, wait. So here's the thing, Rambling. So you were saying let's cut back on the military and pay for health care. Peter, again, how much did the UK spend on medical research?
Well, in just pharmaceuticals, it's 3.9, and we have our own pharmaceutical companies that contribute an awful lot. It's a matter of teamwork. That's the way
it's the only way it works.
Right. Now, my understanding is like the...
And by pull out, I don't mean you pull out everything, but maybe pull back a little.
But
that was the problem with the British.
Where?
The British overextended, and so will the United States, and that's what you guys are facing now. You're overextended.
Where do we pull out from? Because you know what, we can't just cut back a little. You either pull out, or you know, it's not like you can say, well, you know, we're going to pull one soldier from every base. That's not going to make
that won't help at all. No,
right.
And so you're right.
So we can't. But if we pull out, let's say we decide, well, screw it, we'll pull out of South Korea. What happens the next day?
Yeah, North Korea invades.
Right.
Well, maybe not.
They wouldn't. I'm sure.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
Really, you don't think Kim Jong is crazy enough to invade?
No, because you know what?
The Canadians will protect them.
No, that isn't why. China would invade from the north.
Kim Jong-un, you know.
China would
invade where?
He's a very good man, according to Trump.
China would go through. China would take over the peninsula.
And they might.
Because here, this is why,
are having our own problems now.
But so suffice to say that if we pulled out of South Korea tomorrow, then the southwestern Asian area would immediately erupt into war, and because we are a stabilizing force there.
Yeah.
And so and that's the thing.
The treaty that states that if they cross that parallel, Canada, Britain, and the United States have to respond. But no, it's just the United States.
Okay, so we're gonna let Canada and Britain take care of it.
Probably.
How many troops do you have there?
None. Oh,
Okay.
wait. I don't know. Not off the top of my head. I can't remember if we still have a couple stations or not.
In reserve, I mean.
I mean, yes, it would be bad, but at the same time, what I'm saying is,
I'm sorry. I gotta tell you.
You know what? I'm
Hilarious.
done.
I gotta tell you.
Let's change topic because it's just annoying me.
No, wait, Rambler.
No, I'm done.
I understand, but this is funny.
I'm done. I'm done with the Canada sucks. The world
this
sucks,
isn't a
and
Canada
the United
sucks.
States is God. I'm done with it.
Rambling. Calm down.
I'm done with it.
It's time to wrap it up.
Every time we try to say something, you just say the United States is the best, and
No,
everywhere else in the
Rambling.
world sucks and is unimportant.
You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying
Without you, we're nothing. That's what you've said all day.
No. Rambling.
Without you, we're nothing, and that
Rambling.
pisses me off.
I understand that, but you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when people constantly berate the United States for spending too much on... Wait. Because you did it yourself in this stream.
Yes.
People berating the United States for spending too much on the military and not enough on social programs without stopping to think about the fact that the United States military is the stabilizing force throughout the planet and is likely preventing war after war after war, even though, yes, we're involved in wars, which are some you can argue whether they're good or bad. But the reason I laughed, and I do think it's just genuinely funny, because we were talking about how many Canadian troops are in South Korea. The answer is, and I'm not making this up, 15.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so I just thought that was hilarious to see that number, because I was expecting, maybe they'll say 1,500 or something, but
no,
15.
Probably they're training up the South Koreans.
It says there are currently 15 Canadian Armed Forces officers embedded with the UNC in South Korea. And I'm 16. That's one Canadian Air Force officer with the UNC in Japan. So there's one in Japan and 15 in South Korea. But
Japan doesn't have a military anyway, so we should get on their box. Really,
Japan actually scored fairly high on the military. I was surprised by that.
Well, of course,
that's because they're backed by the United States.
Technically, military police.
Japan is number 4 in the world as far as military strength. Japan has, let's see, it looks like where Japan really shines is attack helicopters.
Yes.
They have a ton of them. They actually have more aircraft carriers than anybody but the United States.
Yes. Our allies.
So,
Canada.
Which that surprises me. But here's the thing, Remy. I'm not suggesting that like Canada sucks or that England sucks or that what I'm not suggesting that at all. What I'm saying though is that the United States gets a bad rap from everybody about how we just spend money in the military and we don't care about people.
Yeah, but I'll flip that on you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that the reason that we do that is because all you guys do is talk down to us?
I'm not talking down to you.
That's all. That's every. That's every chat room, every single time that it's brought up is United States is number 1 and everybody else sucks.
Well, as far as military strength, United States is number 1.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. As far
I'm not arguing that.
Right. As far as the worldwide economy, the United States is the primary driver of it.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you know what? Yes, people brag about American exceptionalism, but the simple fact is that, what's the biggest stereotype about Canadians? They're nice. That's not a bad thing. That's what most Americans think of Canadians. They're nice people. It's not like we look at Canadians and say, what a bunch of idiots.
Well,
because,
as a Canadian, I'll tell you right now, we get insulted a lot. And that's why I get defensive. Because
I understand that, but
we get insulted and ran down and made fun of and joked about on your TV, every program. Every Canadian that's ever been in a show is either stupid, dumb, retarded, or absolutely backwards.
Who gets made
bothers
fun of?
me.
You know who gets made fun of even more than that? Southern United States residents.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like people.
But at the same time, you have to understand, you're coming at it, well, I'm sick and tired of people getting mad at us, even though we're footing the bill. Yeah, but the reason people are mad at you, or not you personally, but the United States, right, is because you guys do the exact same to us. Even when we do help or when we're part of the plan, it's like, yeah, no, we did it all. You guys suck.
Here's the thing: as far as making fun of stereotype personalities, we do that with everybody, right?
Yes.
Everybody does that about everybody else. Americans are all fat. Canadians all sit around eating back bacon and beer, right? Brits all have sticks up their butt. Everybody has their stereotype. That's just a worldwide phenomenon. We all
actually no. The American stereotype is you all are gun nuts, but you know.
Well, there's the gun nut thing too. But that's the funny thing is that's actually a specific stereotype to Southerners in the United States. Is that you picture what you're talking about is the guy with 3 teeth driving a pickup truck, loving his gun, marrying his cousin. That is the Southern stereotype.
Yeah, the Bible Belt.
Yeah, which is completely bogus, by the way.
Which is funny because we actually have that here, but Well,
you got rednecks everywhere. It's just that, in the United States.
They go by different names.
Right. But here's the funny thing. It's like in the United States, people want to think it's in the South, but it's really, there's no state that doesn't have a significant quote unquote redneck population. It's just that redneck quote unquote population tends to live in more rural areas as opposed to urban, and there are more rural areas in the United States South than there are in the North.
Yeah, and like for me, the military, like the Canadian military, like I understand the world, the way it works, and yes, if the United States pulled out everywhere tomorrow, then the shit's gonna go boom. But the reason I get defensive of the Canadian military is a lot of my family were in it. And I had basically committed myself from about 9 till I found out I wasn't going to be able to pass the physical to follow that tradition in my family. And that's why when people make fun of the Canadian military, it pisses me off.
Yeah,
because in a way, I feel like they're making fun of every family member that I've had that have gone over and died so that they can have the biggest economy.
And that's a perfectly fair criticism of that. And so if you but here's the thing, Ramley. And so you stand up when if somebody like, so I'm making fun of the Royal Canadian Kilted Yaxman, and you say, hey, you know what, my dad served in the Canadian military, we're proud of it. And then you know what I'll say? Yeah, I'm sure I got nothing. If he was in the Canadian military, I'm certainly not seriously dissing them. When I say that kind of thing, I'm poking fun at our friend, the neighbors to the north.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not saying it out of hate or spite or anything like that. And in fact, the only reason I use the term Royal Canadian Kilted Yaxman is because I thought it was hilarious when I saw it on Ren and Stimpy, and my family happens to be of Scottish descent.
Yeah, so does mine.
Yeah.
We're Scots-Irish, which means we hate ourselves.
Right. I'm Scotch-Irish as well, so it's I understand that problem.
But the Canadian military is always, like, it's gotten me into trouble in school and stuff like that because I get like one time I blew up at a teacher because the answer to a World War II question got me in trouble. The answer was who won World War II? The answer was the United States. I put down Canada, the United States, and Britain. And I got it wrong, and that made me mad.
Well, actually, here's the thing: in American schools, the correct answer to that question will be the Allies.
Yeah, but the answer to the question was the United States,
right.
And that bothers me.
Which is funny because I don't know why they would say that in Canadian schools. Because, like I said, in American school, I don't know how it is today, but at least when I was in school, the answer was the Allied powers versus the Axis powers. The Allies won.
Because
it wasn't the United. Yes, the United States entering the war was the turning point, but that doesn't mean the United States did it by themselves.
Like, well, because technically, some people consider the end of World War II would be after Japan surrendered, not Germany, and a lot of that is the United States.
Sure.
I mean, yes, Britain was there, Canada was there,
Well,
but
Britain
we
actually
didn't,
decided not to send any more troops to the Pacific.
well, they had aircraft
after
carriers.
Germany had resigned and we had a general election.
Well,
you know,
and to be
and
fair,
at that general election, we created the National Health Service and other things.
but to be fair, at that
we
point,
were
Britain was
rebuilding.
in tatters. I mean, that's the thing, is that Britain was ripped apart by the war, as was most of Europe.
Yes.
And so I wouldn't expect, I mean, when if you just defeated the Nazis, I wouldn't expect them to say, okay, let's go get them Japs. You know, I'd expect them to say, okay, we need to lick our wounds first. You know, if you guys, you know, the United States still basically unscathed from the war, we could handle it. And
we created the greatest health service in the world.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, the UK did have battle groups, battle groups in the Pacific.
Yeah, we did still, and we left them there until everything had been sorted out.
But I don't doubt for a minute that had the Japanese front gone badly, that the rest of the Allied powers would not have ponied up at that point. I think that it was just that at that point they figured that the United States had the superior forces over Japan. Plus, they probably knew a little something about the Manhattan Project, so they were like, "Okay, yeah, we'll let you guys handle it." Yeah, and if you need,
we still had the Australians there because that was still part of
Great Britain.
Well, the Australians were too busy being slaughtered by the emu.
Well as the Indians and the Pakistanis.
But no, that's why I take offense in the Canadian military conversations, because it's like, whoa. We've held our own.
Oh, sure. But the one thing that I think we can all agree on is that Karoga must be destroyed.
No.
Well, just saying. I mean,
I think you two should barter a peace treaty.
All right, I don't mind that. Give us back the orphans. Surrender, you know, and you know, well, actually, you don't even need to surrender. You can maintain your borders, but you have to have open borders, allow people to cross and leave Karoga if they want to, and you need to release your political prisoners, such as Aberdam.
How about this for a peace treaty? You take Eastern Canada, we'll take Western Canada.
Well, here's the problem. Wait, where is French?
You're being mean, Bird. You're giving
Eastern.
You're being
you get the Frenchies.
Now you see, you're gonna push the Frenchies on us. No, that's a Karoga.
You're giving
We get
Alexander.
beautiful Vancouver
You're giving
and
Alexander.
Bigfoot country.
You're giving Alexander the Detroit.
Hold on. Let me. What was that?
Who deserves it more?
Sex with she-males every day. I love having sex with she-males.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So wait, based on that statement, wouldn't you want the French Canadians?
No.
Nobody wants the French Canadians.
Right. Okay, how about this?
Actually, that's sadly true. When they had the referendum and they wanted to be their own country, even France turned them down. And that's not even fake. That's 100% accurate.
How about we just agree to we'll invade. Where are the French Canadians? What province? Quebec. Okay, so we'll Karoga and Kurdistan will both invade Quebec. One from the east, one from the west. Since you want a Western, you can invade from the west. We'll invade from the east. And when our troops meet up with each other, whatever we got, we keep.
You realize we just will stop at the border and let you take it.
Well, no, but you see, you don't get anything except for Quebec. So the Western Canadian provinces still remain Canadian. So if we want to be nice to people like Rambling Canuck. We're just divvying up Quebec. The rest of Canada remains Canada.
I'll take Quebec. Okay.
So you invade from the west, we'll invade from the east. When our troops meet each other, whatever land you've got is permanently yours.
So you want Quebec City because it's actually kind of nice. Maybe Montreal.
Yeah.
Which is better?
For sure. You know, one take Quebec, one take Montreal, and then everybody's happy.
I agree.
Yeah.
And so, on that note, I've got a few things to wrap up here before I settle down for the night, as it's after 8 o'clock, and I've got to eat.
But yeah, sorry for getting so heated. And yes, I know it's the trope. I'm saying sorry, and I'm Canadian. Ha ha. But
That's
at any
all right.
rate, that's the one subject that I get heated on. It's like if somebody says TOS sucks in front of Andy Trekker.
Yeah, well, it made a very good talking point that was spoke for ages on that. You know, so I'm not upset by it.
Quebec's kind of a weird looking area.
It is. But no, for 3 times now, the Quebec has tried and gone all the way to referendum to leave Canada and become their own country. You want to talk about funny? Here's their plan, Anti-Trekker. They want to leave Canada, okay?
That's not French.
They want, but here's the caveats. They want to leave Canada. They want to be recognized as their own country. Okay. They want the Canadian government to wipe out provincial debt, so they don't owe anything. Remain on the Canadian dollar and keep the Canadian military.
So basically, Quebec wants to be how the rest of the world is to the United States.
Yeah. Yeah. They want to keep the Canadian dollar. They want to keep the Canadian military, and they want that pesky provincial debt to go away.
Well, good luck with that. That would be great. You know, I'll tell you what. I'm going to now secede from the United States. Just my house and my land. It's going to be the Republic of Kurdistan from now on. However, I'm going to demand that I owe the United States government nothing, and I still get full police, fire, and medical services, and protection by the United States military.
Yeah, well, that's basically what Quebec's proposed 3 times.
Oh, by the way, I don't owe you any taxes either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's a fair deal.
Yeah. Which is why that referendum has failed 3 times.
And that's one of the reasons I really want Bird to move to Tennessee. Because my ultimate dream would be to have Bird buy a house in my neighborhood that borders my property so that we can put signs up that say Kurdistan and Karoga.
Okay, do you have a neighbor you could move out?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we could convince someone. Besides, I mean, for what Bird could probably sell his place for in New York, you could do a hostile bid and buy any house you wanted here.
Peter, are you about to leave, or are you still putting the stream link in?
Yeah, I have to go because I've got to clear up.
He needs to eat.
I was confused because I thought you were about to leave. I was about to say goodbye, but then I saw you put the link in.
Yeah, I am hosting it, but Triangulum is hosting something at the moment. So
that's a hilarious name, by the way. Trippin' to Paul's. I love that.
Yeah.
I thought it was the link to your channel. I'm sorry, it makes more sense now.
No. Triangulum, one of my subscribes.
Mr. Miles, that's a whole different can of worms.
Well, take care, Peter, and everyone else.
Yes.
I will.
You guys too. It's been
on
good.
a couple hours.
All right. See you then, Bird.
Yeah, I'll see if I'm still online then, Bird.
And don't forget, guys, that there is, in fact, even though I probably won't be able to make it, there is going to be that live stream on Orville Nation tonight with Alan Dean Foster.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Aye.
So,
I'll have to
so
tune in.
definitely check that out. Worth watching.
All right. Well, we may agree to disagree, but
Thank you, Trek.
I
Thank
still
you,
like the
Bert.
Anti-Cracker.
Thank you, D. Thanks,
Thank you.
Miles. Thank you to Epic Beard. And I think that's and Cinnabon. But I might stream tomorrow. You never know.
I think
All right.
Cinnamon, you need to change your username now to Elnar.
Elnar.
Yeah, Elnar Bunny.
Elnar Bunny. What's the reason for that? And I've got no idea what it refers to.
It refers. There's a character in Star Trek Picard named Elnar who happens to look.
Elnar, yes. Yeah.
So
Oh,
Elnar
well.
Bunny, I think that should be your name.
Yeah, why not?
Make it happen.
If I can change it, I'm not sure how to on YouTube.
Oh, he meant Cinnamon Bunny. Or Cinnamon Bunny, whatever.
Cinnabon Bunny. Yeah, see, Cinnabon Bunny, it's too much like a tongue twister. But if you go Elnar Bunny, you can say it. It's easier.
Yeah.
So I think that'll make sense. Then all you got to do is learn how to do that spinning move and decapitate someone.
Yeah.
Just don't decapitate your bunnies.
No, you want to. And on that note, Joel on True.
Joel on True.
Take it easy, folks.
Joel on True.